got a couple of goals early, took a 2-0 lead, never trailed, added an empty netter late in winning by a score of 5-2. Elsewhere in the USHL last night, really the biggest surprise coming from Youngstown as the Anderson Cup champion. Youngstown Phantoms find themselves down 2-0 in their best-of-5 series. It was an overtime win. Youngstown outshot Madison 40-14, but Caleb Heil, 77 minutes of shutout hockey in net, and former Force Aero Butella got the game-winning goal with just under 3 minutes to play in overtime to give Madison a 1-0 lead, and the 6-seeded Capitals have a 2-0 lead in that best-of-5 series. It'll resume in Madison Friday. Muskegon defeated Dubuque by a score of 6-2. Max Cullen, Moorhead product, got his second goal of the postseason. That was in the first period. Ty Bergeron and Chuck Blanchard got goals in the second. It was 4-2 to make it a 4-2 game, but Jack Christ and Drew Stewart sealed the game with late goals in the third period. 6-2 Muskegon over Dubuque. That best-of-5 series is even at 1 game apiece. So far in the series in the East, you're 1-1 with Dubuque and Dubuque and Muskegon. That will move to Muskegon coming up this weekend. And then in the meantime, you have 2-0 with Madison and Youngstown. They will resume Friday night in suburban Madison in Middleton, Wisconsin. Dubuque and Muskegon will resume on Friday, as will Sioux Falls and Lincoln with Game 3 of their series. Fargo and Sioux City, they will move to the Tyson Event Center on Thursday and potentially Friday night as well. The Tyson Event Center has a conflict Saturday, so the series moved up to Thursday and potentially Friday. Starters for the Fargo Force, no change. It'll be Nate Deladonna centering Luke McNamara and Gavin Eulenkamp. Stepan Cherny and Garrett Lindberg will start on defense. Lindberg out of Moorhead, Stepan Cherny out of the Czech Republic, and A.J. White, the St. Thomas commit, 30 saves last night, is back in net for the Fargo Force. Meantime, for Sioux City, they'll start with Gavin Gary centering Luke Gary and Kyle O'Leary. Mason Stinger and Daniel D'Alessandro will start on defense, and Ryder Shea. So they went with Fickthorn, then Shea in Game 1 and Game 2 respectively in their first round series win over Tri-City. They will continue that pattern with Shea, who is 1-1 against the Force as a starter this year. So he will get the call here in this one. His last appearance came in late February against the Fargo Force, where he took a loss in net by a score of 4-1. Take a timeout. Our national anthem coming up next. The opening face-off with the Force and the Musketeers is coming up in just a moment.
Thank you. That national anthem brought to you by Fabricators Unlimited. Visit FabricatorsUnlimited.com for more information. Sunday afternoon, we're going to start with the Blazing Minute Challenge. If your Force score in the first minute of the period, some fans in section 103 will receive Buffalo Wild Wings phone box number 13, 6-piece boneless wings and Buffalo Wild Wings. Where were you on game number 2? Well, the answer is Shields Arena. You're going to bring the power. You're going to bring the fight. And we're going to roll the ice on this Sunday. This is the USHL, where stars
Just underway as Sioux City wins the draw. Firing it in was Kyle O'Leary. To the near corner, comes back to the right point. A shot fired wide, missed the net. Eulenkamp comes away with it down the right wing boards for the Force. Eulenkamp fires a shot, missed the net. Comes out to Cherney at the blue line. He will ring it around here to the near side of the half wall. Lindbergh trying to get to it. Cleared out by Sioux City. There to retrieve it. Eulenkamp at neutral ice in a puck battle. O'Leary takes it away. Pass intercepted by McNamara, and here's Cherney at center. Cherney comes across the line, will drop it off and fire it in. Rings around to the near side as McNamara trying to dig it out. McNamara has a hat trick against Sioux City. That was in the regular season back in February. Puck battle in the near corner as Fargo shooting at the goal off to our right as they do for the first and third periods at Shields Arena. That would be the south goal here at Shields Arena. McCrate after it. As we mentioned, belated happy birthday. McCrate turned 19 and celebrated with a goal and a playoff win. Puck battle in front of the Fargo bench. Daniil Boutin comes away with it for Sioux City. Poked away, taken back by Jones. Graham Jones comes across the line with it. Jones, left circle, puts the brakes on. Has it knocked off his stick. McCrate keeps it in, backhands it in deep. Mason West down low. Pass broken up, trying to find Jones in the slot. Broken up, Christian Lyons comes away with it for Sioux City. And it comes back to neutral ice as Lindbergh backhands it out, taken there by Fargo. Here's Colin Sisson at the red line. Sisson will backhand it in. Rest of the lines for Sioux City. That top line, William Tomko with Ashton Schultz and Trey Jeffress. They've combined for 11 points so far in the postseason. That line was shut out last night. Aiden Dyer, Elias Votny, and Max Anderson, along with Dallas Potter, centering Daniil Boutin and Dakota Bailey for the Musketeers. Loose puck near side. Brooks Cullen there has it taken off his stick. As here comes Luke Gary. Gary at center. It's 3-on-3. Gary for Jeffress. Jeffress centering feed, and the pass connected. And Schultz, his attempt just sliding wide of the net. Had a defender draped to him, but got a stick on it just wide of the goal. Flipped out by Fargo. Brooks Cullen centering Nick Kasiba and Zach Zimmerman. Mason West will center Graham Jones and Colin Sisson. Puck will go the length of the ice and be frozen by A.J. White, and he will hang on to it. 17:40 to play here in the opening period and no score. Not a sellout, but a good crowd here at Shields Arena, and a few folks still filing in as we had 4,600 strong for game one last night. Jacob Sagan will center Saxton Tess and Bryce Mattern. Brady Zujak will be the extra forward. The defensive pairings are Arsenij Marchenko and Cullen McCrate, Zane Penner and Wyatt Subnewski. And again, Subnewski moved to defense. We'll see how much he actually plays on the blue line. They will get Graham Greeter back from suspension for game 3 Thursday. Puck off a few sticks and skates at neutral ice. Bouncing puck and Kylie Tess fires it hard off the inboards. Off the stick of Sagan and trying to get it as it came hot off the inboards, but couldn't get to it cleanly. Here's McCrate. Well, ring it around to the far side away from traffic. Arsenij Marchenko at the half wall for Saxton Tess. Tess works his way up high. They'll ring it around here to the near side. McCrate gets to it first. McCrate in the corner in deep. Centering feed in front. Mattern was there. Popped high in the air by Saxton Tess. Tess working for it. Left circle with his back to the goal. Trying to free himself away from a Sioux City defender. Olsen breaks up the pass for Sioux City. In front for Mattern as a shot deflected up and missed up and over the goal. Mattern ended up with a puck to the goaltender's left. Had a clean look. Here's Mattern. So Fargo trying to get some sustained offensive time and a little bit of pressure here. Kept in by McCrate. Pass by Sagan and intended for Mattern, broken up behind the net. Taken there by Saxton Tess. So this shift, this line has really spent a lot of time in the offensive zone. Here's Sagan and up high. Fires a screen shot. Save made by Shea as Saxton Tess looking for the rebound as was traffic in front. But threw it right into about 3 different defenders. Is nice check there by Votny. Sends down to Fargo skater and Cherney. Line change coming for the Musketeers. Fargo trying to catch him in it. Eulenkamp left circle. Eulenkamp bangs it off the side of the goal as camped in front was McNamara. Eulenkamp back to the point. Lindbergh. D-to-D feed Deladonna off his stick. Claimed by Gould, trying to clear it out to neutral ice and does. Boutin plays it at center for the Musketeers. Bouncing puck to the right circle. Spinning Votny. He'll score! Make it Daniil Boutin. Boutin scores. Got deflected as momentum was carrying him towards the net. He was able to face up to the forehand, and Daniil Boutin scores to give Sioux City a 1-0 lead. Boy, a spin move between Lindbergh and Eulenkamp. Able to spin, get the puck on his stick to the forehand. right there and slide it past A.J. White. Just a heck of an individual effort there by Daniil Booten. 4:11 into the opening period. And it's a 1-0 Sioux City advantage. See if they tack on an assist on that, but for Booten, that is his 4th goal of the season. He had just 3 goals in the regular season, and for Booten, we'll get to those numbers here in just a second. Puck will go back to neutral ice. Nice check by Marchenko. Loose puck, Mason West after it. Claimed and fired in by Lyons from the red line. He will head to the bench and come out of his shift. Here's Jeffress. Jeffress in the corner in the Sioux City offensive zone. It's tangled up with Marchenko. Takes him off the play. Here's Sisson. Sisson up ice. Jones will send it deep in the offensive zone. Shea comes out of the cage. Here's Jones. Graham Jones near corner. Behind the net for Sisson. West camped in front. Sisson converged on by a pair of Musketeers at the end boards. Mason West trying to join in. He'll grab the loose puck. West back to the point. Lindbergh had a clean lane. Fires a shot. Ryder Shea will come up with a save. Prevents the rebound. We'll have immediate timeout. So a little over 5 minutes in. And the opening goal comes to the Musketeers. 14:56 to go in the opening period. 1-0 Sioux City. We're back in 60 on 740 The Fan, FloHockey, and KVOI 11-4. Daniil Booten's goal is his 2nd of the postseason. He now has 2 goals and an assist in the playoffs. Sioux City handles it behind their net as it is Schultz. Schultz dumps it in as Luke Gehry will chase after it. Play behind A.J. White in the Fargo net. Pass broken up, intercepted left circle, broken up by Cullen. Fargo has numbers 4-on-3 as Cullen gains the line. Veers off to the left. Cullen will send it for Kasiba. Shovels it along here to the near side where it is taken back by the Musketeers and Luke Gehry. Gehry pass through center, broken up, intercepted by Fargo. Do not have the scoring on the score sheet yet. We can tell Booten the goal. We'll see if they tack an assist on that. 14:10 to play in the first. Game 2 of this best of 5. It is 1-0 in favor of Sioux City. Back behind the net, Fargo at a line change. Out comes Saget and Tess, and also Bryce Matter. Loose puck left circle. Sagan trying to come away with it and does for Saxton Tess. Tess down the right wing boards. Tess spins in the left circle. Pass from McCrate as McCrate gathers it in. Left circle, backhanded feed, deflected, and ends up behind the net. Sagan grabs onto the run, chased by Gould. Back out it goes Cherney, left point. Here's Sagan in a drive, save made. Bouncing puck cleared aside. Mattern keeps it alive, but puck rolls out of the zone back to neutral ice. Here's Cullen McCrate. McCrate will fire it in, rings around. Fargo will change up. Tess checks out McNamara and Garrett Lindbergh. So a little partial line change there. Daniil Booten at center comes across the line, and offside will be the call. I think they got Gavin Gehry coming in ahead of the puck. So the scoring on that goal, should have that now. Booten from Dakota Bailey and Shane Gould at 4-11. Booten 2nd of the playoffs. Bailey has his 1st assist, and Gould picks up his 3rd assist. That's at 4-11 and a 1-0 Sioux City advantage. And again, 3 straight years these teams have met in the postseason. Sioux City won Game 2 last year to eliminate the Force, and then 2 years ago in the Western Conference Final, won Game 2 here to even the series at 1. Puck will go the length of the ice, and icing will be called. We'll hold things with 13:07 to play in the opening period, but we go back to April 29, 2024. What a time to be alive that was. Sioux City won 4-1 here at Shields Arena. Caden Shahan to the game-winning goal with a little over 6 minutes to play in the third period. And then they added a pair of empty netters in the final minute to even that best-of-5 series with the Force. And Sioux City won Game 3 before Fargo won Game 4 in Sioux City and then blanked the Muskies 4-0 on their way to a Western Conference championship. There's a shot as A.J. White with the save. Traffic in front. The puck cleared out. Loose puck. Nice check by Deladonna. Takes the puck off a Sioux City skater. Held in by Lyons at the line. Loose right circle. There's a shot to the forehand. Glove save. Dakota Bailey able to scoop up that loose puck. Quick wrister from the right circle, and A.J. White comes up with a save. So A.J. White really proved his mettle last night. Nice job by Lyons to keep that puck in and set up a scoring opportunity there for Dakota Bailey. 1-0 Sioux City. Talked about it last night of the 8 regular season matchups. The road team won 6 of them. Sioux City won 3 of 4 here at Shields Arena. Fargo likewise at the Tyson Event Center. Puck elevated over the defense. Icing waved off. Back to chase it down. Mason Stinger. Now at the blue line, Jeffress. Cross-ice feed, trying to grab it on the run. D'Alessandro drops it off for Gary. Broken up by Mason West. Now comes to Schultz. Pass for Jeffress. Couldn't handle the hot feed. In the slot, intercepted. Sisson comes across the line. Sisson puts the brakes on. Fires it in deep. West will chase after it for Fargo. He is tied up in the corner with Schultz. Fargo now Sisson. Sisson to the corner, stick handles. Back for Jones. Jones behind the net. Sisson lets it come through. Now Mason West to play it. Back behind the net comes Colin Sisson. A goal and an assist last night. Into the slot. Shot save made from West. Little slide around attempt there. Trying to slide around the goaltender Graham Jones and could not. Ryder Shea holds his ground. Bouncing puck, but good pressure there by the Force. Here's Marchenko. He'll fire it in deep. Fargo will start up in a line change. Cherney, Zuzek, Subnewski, Cullen, and Lindberg. Subnewski is out there as a forward. 11:40 to play here in the opening period. Shots on goal 7-5. It's 1-0 Musketeers. 7-5 in favor of Fargo. Nice poke check taken away. Here comes Cherney. Fargo has numbers. 4-on-3. Cullen to the slot. Fires a shot and just missed the net. Tried to go top left corner and just missed. Down ice it goes. O'Leary. O'Leary one-on-one feed. Just out of the reach of Ryan Poyer. He'll chase it down to the corner. Puck comes free behind the net as Cullen cannot get to it. Lindberg with a puck battle with O'Leary. Gary joins in. O'Leary centering feed. Deflected, broken up as Poyer holds it in. Lions right point in for Max Anderson. Veers his way to the right circle. Now back behind the net. Anderson turns left circle. Now back it goes for Poyer. A drive tipped. As tipped by O'Leary, it's going to be a penalty coming here against Fargo. Delayed penalty call. They'll try and get the goaltender to the bench. Shot blocked. Fargo looking to touch up, and they finally do as Zuzek, but Fargo will go on a high sticking call. 9:14 of the opening period, and we'll see who goes in. I think it's going to be Stepan Cherney, and it will be. So Sioux City will go to the man advantage as the first penalty of the night against the Force. High sticking call against Fargo's Stepan Cherney at 9:14. You see it right there. We have a stick up towards the grill of O'Leary. So Sioux City will go to the man advantage. Last night 0 of 2 on the power play. They're 0 of 5 in the postseason on the man advantage. Power play goal they gave up last night to Fargo's Graham Jones was the first power play goal that they have allowed so far in the Clark Cup playoffs. 10:46 to go, but a key kill to try and get here for the Force. Already down 1-0. Puck comes to Gould at the point. Stick handles. Opposite right circle, Stinger. Stinger just top of the right circle. Gould back to Stinger. A little catch there with Gould as he'll weave his way back to the blue line. Trying to get free from Cullen. Stick handles. Jeffress camped in front, as is Dyer. Now Stinger comes up high. Here's a shot deflected and wide. Might have been tipped by a Sioux City skater. Jeffress. Check from behind by Lindberg. Play goes to the far corner. Now to the far side. Cullen joins in on a puck battles. It comes back up the wall. 1:24 to play on the man advantage. Here's Gould. Shovels it for Tomko. Tomko backhanded to the corner. Dyer trying to get there for Sioux City. Jeffress will join in. 2 skaters each way. Now a third for Fargo. Now Tomko comes away with it. Back for Gould at the point. Gould, now Tomko. Tomko down low, feed in front. Shot saved by A.J. White. Jeffress Crisp passing there by Sioux City. Jeffress with a one-timer in front. A.J. White the save, prevents a rebound and hangs on. 9:51 to go in the opening period. There's A.J. White. Kind of a combo glove and pad save there. Blocker save, and able to smother it, prevent a rebound. Minute 5 to go in the power play. Sioux City, a couple of shots so far in this man advantage with a 1-0 lead. Deladonna off the draw, lunging and unable to hold the zone was Gary. Loose puck in neutral ice, taken by Deladonna. Deladonna has it poked away from behind by the Musketeers, and back comes Luke Gary. He takes a check. Schultz right at the blue line. All kinds of traffic at the blue line. And a turnover. Giveaway and cleared out by Saxton Tass. Length of the ice. Ryder Shea will have to make a play on it as it bounced towards the goal. 40 seconds to go in the man advantage. 1-0 Sioux City. As back come the Musketeers starting the rush up ice. Derek Olson sends it back as across the line with it comes Ashton Schultz. Here's Gary. Gavin Gary poked away, intercepted, taken by Tass. 2-on-1, shorthanded if they hustle. Saxton Tass fires a shot, and Ryder Shea the save. He had Cullen with him, but Tass a clean lane as he went into the right circle, went to the forehand and right into the chest, and the pad save there by Ryder Shea. Shot it kind of right into the midsection. 9:03 to go, but loose puck and a turnover turned into a 2-on-1 shorthanded for Fargo, so Force will get an offensive zone face-off down a man and down 1-0 here in game 2. This Western Conference semifinal. Off the face-off, loose puck, Booten after it. Booten trying to come away with it, and he does for the Musketeers, dressed in the green and gold sweaters. Very reminiscent of North Stars colors, if you were a fan of the Minnesota North Stars. Stinger, cross-ice feed. Gould comes across the line. Gould weaves his way to the high slot. Puck is loose. Penalty is expired. A backhanded shot. Booten scores again. Just in a loose puck in the left circle. A little backhanded flip past A.J. White. Actually going to give it, looks like the goal to go to Dakota Bailey instead. He may have tipped it in. Yeah, he did. Booten threw it in front with a backhand and tipped home by Dakota Bailey, and it's 2-0 Musketeers. There you see him coming into the screen and just got a stick on it to tip it home. But again, Daniil Booten right in the middle of things offensively for the Sioux City Musketeers. 11-18 on the goal. Dakota Bailey will get the goal. Booten should get an assist on that. We talked about that top line held scoreless last night, and that was a point I was going to get to. And are they going to take a look at this? Yeah, it looks like they might take a peek at it. Well, like I say, they are going to review it, I think, for goaltender interference. I thought was the announcement that they made here, that the official made down on the ice. So they're going to review it for goaltender interference. So we'll take a peek at that and see. And I guess once they're done reviewing it, then we'll get a chance to look at it ourselves. So goal pending review right now. They've got the monitor and they've got the iPad as Daniel Fagan and Camden Liban are officials. Wyatt Corrigan and Colin Gent are the linesmen here for this one this afternoon, game 2 of this series. Meantime, down at Sioux Falls, checking the score there was scoreless after 1. Sioux Falls now a 2-0 lead in the second period. A little over 13 minutes to play. Logan Renkowski and J.J. Montero with the Sioux Falls goals. So top-seeded Stampede with a 2-0 lead. So they continue to review. They will review for goaltender, I believe, goalie interference. But really a nice play again by Booten on a loose puck and just kind of traffic in the left circle, able to backhand one towards the net where Bailey was able to tip it home. But we will see if the goal indeed will stand on this one. Well, long review. And it came right as the penalty expired. In fact, Fargo was ready to get Cherney back onto the ice and get that 5th skater out to the ice. So we'll see I think we're about ready to have our decision on this. It's a good goal. So the goal stands, and that'll make it a 2-0 Sioux City lead. And let's look at it again to see. Yeah, Bailey skate was maybe at the edge of the crease and able to tip that one home. And did he make contact with A.J. White at all with the stick? Probably not enough to change the call. Again, the call was a good goal. You need kind of the indisputable evidence to overturn it. And I don't, just by the looks of it, I'm not sure if there was enough to overturn the call. So it's a 2-0 Musketeers lead. Getting hauled out behind Colin Sisson. Here's Booten, picks it up, left circle, centering feed, did not connect. Lions for Tomko, who slams it hard, back up the wall, kept in by Gavin Carr. Rings around, Tomko trying to hold it. William Tomko chops at it, Cherney sends it along down the left wing boards into the Fargo offensive zone. Pass back to neutralize, Booten gains the line, trying to spin around Lindbergh as he spun. Lost the puck in the process. Tomko with a check. Takes a Fargo skater out of the play. Here's Colin Sisson into the offensive zone for the force. Feed from Mason West behind the net. Out of the corner, West. Puck comes free. Sisson trying to center it. Pass broken up. Now West. Here's McCrate. McCrate a drive. Save made by Shea. Second attempt by McCrate. Into the body of D'Alessandro to the goaltender's right. Sioux City looking to clear out with it. They do. Pass out Tomko. Spins as he enters the zone. Lost the puck as he was checked by McCrate. Here comes Colin Sisson. Sisson gains the line, has Jones with him. Now McCrate down low. Jones works in front, trying to stuff it home. Save, rebound, and a goal! Rebound goal for Colin Sisson. His second in as many games in Fargo. Slices the lead in half. 2-1 Musketeers. Puck came free. And maybe the defense might have shielded their own goaltender. Bottom of the circle, and a shot to get through all kinds of traffic. Two men in front and Shea, and beat him glove side. So Colin Sisson, 3 points in the playoffs. And Fargo makes it a 2-1 game. So we'll get the scoring here. It was Bailey from Daniil Booten and Shane Gould on the second goal. As loose, it'll be Sisson. I believe Jones should get the assist. He had the first shot on that. O'Leary pass comes through center, deflects off the skate of Cherney. He will chase it down as Cherney, the official trying to avoid contact there. Loose puck, and it comes back to the point for Olsen. Faking in the one-timer was Gould. Gould throws it high up into the netting and out of play. The second Sioux City goal, Bailey from Booten and Shane Gould made it 2-0. We'll get to the Fargo scoring when we come back. 6:53 to go in the opening period. We've got ourselves some action. 2-1 in favor of the Musketeers in game two. We're back in 60 seconds.
Let's celebrate that with the Coors Light Cheers Cab. Show us your best cheers. Okay, look at the Coors Light Cheers Cab. Game 2, Sunday afternoon. Let's do it. Here we go. There it is, ready to go. Looking good. We're doing cheers cab. Hey, get away, swings the gun. All right, we're ready. Yeah. All right. You're on cheers cab. There it is. That's the section right there. Nice job. On the Coors Light Cheers cab.
Fargo has it after the face-off in the Sioux City offensive zone. We'll get the scoring on the Fargo goal here in just a moment as they make the announcement here at the arena. McCrate, Saganin, Mattern, left circle, a shot just wide. Screen shot just wide to the goaltender's right, just missed the net. McCrate couldn't get the puck and neutralize. Luke Gary does. Gets it back for Jeffress at the blue line. Trying to backhand it in. Fanned out his attempt. Intercepted by Mattert. Mattert showing off the speed. Shot off the side of the net. Loose puck here. Saganin behind the goal. Pass out. Cherney able to keep it in. Hold it in at the blue line. Diagonal feed off the boards in the corner. Will come back towards McCrate. It is broken up by Gary. Intercepted. Here's Schultz. 2-on-2. Schultz to the forehand. Into the slot. Got tangled up with his teammate. Shot at the post. Like I hit the crossbar. Here's Carr. Carr rings it around far side. Lions there for Sioux City, as is Saxton Tess for the Force. Loose puck near side. Cherney bouncing a puck, reaching for it is Tess. Now Cherney sends it back to neutral ice. Christian Lyons to play it. The Fargo goal. Let's check on that right now. One moment. As here's a loose puck skating into the zone. Sioux City. O'Leary poke checked away by Cullen McCrate. Here comes Fargo with Graham Jones. Jones left circle. Drop pass Sisson. Sisson weaves through traffic behind the net. Jones set up bottom of the circle as Sisson. Sisson back to the point for Lindbergh. D-to-D feed handled there by the Force and Arseny Marchenko. Feed Sisson. Gathers it in top of the right circle. They're trying to. Now we'll send it along. The Fargo goal. Sisson from Graham Jones and Cullen McCrate. It was a 12-29, which made it a 2-1 Sioux City game. Behind the net comes Sisson. Will ring it around far side. Marchenko trying to hold it in and can't. Back to neutral ice. D-to-D feed Lindbergh. Lindbergh will fire it back in. Takes a hit in the process. As Fargo will go to a line change right now while they have a moment. Eulenkamp. Stepan Cherney out there. Cullen McCrate. Mason West there. Pass to neutral ice where it's handled there by Stepan Cherney. Out of the reach of West and claimed by Sioux City. Their defensive zone as Lions. D'Alessandro. And that will be offside. Dakota Bailey got in ahead of the puck. 2-1 Sioux City. Shots on goal 12-11 in favor of the Force. 4:29 to go. There will be a watch party for the Thursday and potential Friday games at the Tyson Event Center. You can either go to Louis Sports Bar and Grill or Pub West. A couple of other locations as well will have the game available. You can check that out and watch with your fellow Force fans while Fargo on the road. Of course, games will be on the radio as well. 101.9 Jack FM Thursday, and I believe 740 The Fan Friday night if we do have a Game 4 Friday. Game 4 if necessary. 2-1 in favor of Sioux City. Puck dumped in. Sioux City's hoping there is a Game 4, which means they'd still be in it. Here's Stenger. Stenger fires it in. It's deflects to A.J. White. White settles the puck down. Cherney for McCrate. Fargo looks to break out with it as we're inside of 4 minutes to go here in the opening period. Eulenkamp's feed out of the reach of Deladonna, and icing will be called. We'll hold things. 12-11 shots on goal. Just one penalty so far. Graham Jones getting his first assist, second point of the playoffs, and Cullen McCrate continuing to really open up his offensive game. Offensive-minded defenseman. A goal last night at the second Fargo goal. 3:48 to play here in the opening period. 2-1 in favor of the Musketeers. Game 2 of this USHL Western Conference semifinal. Face off to the left of A.J. White. Loose puck in the corner as Dyer with the lone Musketeers goal last night. Held there by Cherney. As Deladonna down to his knees, trying to kick it and keep it in the zone with Shane Gould, and he did successfully. Schultz pass off the back of his skate, taken by a speedy Gavin Eulenkamp. Eulenkamp, McNamara, back for Eulenkamp, trying to chase it down to the end boards. He's checked along the end boards that time by Derek Olson. Play goes to the corner, McNamara now for Lindbergh. Lindbergh at the point, shot, came through and wide, missed the net. Eulenkamp brings it around. Cullen lets it go through. McNamara back for Brooks Cullen in the corner, where he's tied up there by Shane Gould. McNamara will join in. Gains possession now for Lindbergh. Lindbergh held the blue line, deflected. Bouncing puck to the end boards. Now to the corner where Cullen can't get free from Gould. Now Zach Zimmerman pinned to the glass by Schultz. Loose to the corner as will come near side. Marchenko trying to pin it in deep in the corner. Cullen, bouncing puck, gathered in by Lindbergh. Throws it in front, got tipped off a Sioux City skate and wide of the net. Puck flipped high in the air. Schultz will claim it, fires it out as Sioux City looking for a clear, I think, to relieve a little pressure, and they do. Icing will be the call. 2:33 to go in the opening period. Fargo get an offensive zone face-off as line of Sisson, West, and Jones, McCrate and Cherney on defense. So essentially, Fargo's pretty much run 4 defensemen. They've got Subnewski listed on defense, but the one shift we've seen him was as a 4th line forward. And we have not seen much of Zaid Penner. He might get a few shifts here and there. But again, Axel Lofgren out due to injury. Graham Greeter serving second game of his 2-game suspension from late in the regular season. So Fargo, really those top 4 D-men with Cherney, Lindbergh, Marchenko, and McCrate are going to log a lot of minutes here this afternoon. 2:33 to go in the opening period. Face off to the left of the Sioux City goaltender Ryder Shea, Massachusetts native. Here's Cherney. Jones up high. Sisson will play it in the corner. Now West behind the net. Mason West sends it wide. McCrate will play it towards the boards. Rings it around Sisson, far corner. Sisson to the point for Cherney. Cherney for Cullen McCrate, D to D, up high and poked away. Turnover. Dyer came up high, forced a turnover. Luke Gary, and Gary will dump it in. Sioux City will go to a line change as Graham Jones will play it. Poked away. Turnover. Gavin Gary and a near steal, but Cherney able to head back and get possession of the puck. Loose puck. West grabs another run to the Fargo offensive zone. Left circle the drive. Slid through the crease and just wide. Near side comes Gavin Gary. Now across the line, Max Anderson. Anderson across the line, fires a shot, save, rebound loose. Swept aside by Marchenko, but save for A.J. White, his 10th of the opening period. Here's Marchenko, spun around, down he goes, lost a blade, although O'Leary might have helped a little bit. Moves back behind the net, West. Not enough to constitute a penalty. Didn't look like it anyway, and no call. Lions, Marchenko cuts it off in the slot. Marchenko lost a blade again, gives it up. Turnover, Gary, feet in front. Anderson fanned his attempt. Gary gets it back, shot off the side of the net. White got a piece of it. Near side comes Mattern. Puck battle in the near corner, but Fargo giving up the puck in the defensive zone a couple of different times. Here's Marchenko. We're down to a minute to go here in this first period. Near side comes Anderson. He's tangled up there with Sagan, and Gary behind the net. Checked by Lindbergh. Puck will slowly squirt free to the corner. Tess will play it now for the Force. Across the line comes Tess. Diagonal feed out of the reach of Saganin. Loose puck and claimed by Daniil Boutin, who has a goal and an assist in his first period. Nearly taken away from behind by Saxton Tess. Somebody lost a stick, and we've got a whistle. And is it a hand pass call or an offside call? Somebody lost a stick. Trying to see who that's property of. It was one of the Musketeers. I think a hand pass was called, so 35, so that's, I believe I saw what the signal was. 35 and a half to go here in the opening period. Faceoff will come just outside the Musketeers offensive zone. Topko and Deladonna on the draw as Fargo wins the faceoff. McNamara trying to skate through traffic. Puck taken away, taken back by Eulenkamp. Eulenkamp left circle as Bailey trying to haul it down, loose in front and in for a goal. Behind the net, they dropped it in front and deflected into the back of the net. The goal will go to Gavin Eulenkamp to tie it up at 2. Bailey hanging on to him. Puck was loose, and he was able to bank it, I think, off the back of the goaltender skating in. I think that's what happened. That's indeed what happened. The trick shot off the back of Ryder Shea for Eulenkamp, his second of the postseason. Some creativity ties it up at 2 here for the Force. So a 2-2 game. Here is Eulenkamp. Fargo buzzed a little bit. Feedback for Eulenkamp off his stick in the slot, taken by Luke Gary. Flips it high into the air, bouncing puck through the logo. Here's Schultz across the line. 5 seconds to go in the period. Coming wide, Schultz deflected it in for a goal. With 1.8 seconds to play, and Sioux City takes the lead back. Ashton Schultz threw it on net as he went wide of the right circle, and I think he banked it in either off of White. No, he banked it off the skate of Lindbergh, and it's 3-2 Musketeers. Yeah, that's what happened. White was basically kind of handled the right, kind of pretty much centered himself in front of the far side post And then that puck change fly as it went off the skate of Garrett Lindbergh and in. So Schultz gets the goal with 1.8 seconds to play. This just moments after Fargo tied it, with Eulenkamp banking it off the back of the goaltender. And just like that, the Musketeers take a 3-2 lead. They have not put the goal on the board yet. That goal should stand. And it is a 3-2 Sioux City lead after one period of play. So there they put the third goal on the board. So 2 goals in the final minute. In fact, in the final 30 seconds, as Eulenkamp tied it, but Schultz's shot coming wide off of Lindbergh, deflecting in past A.J. White. And the Musketeers have a 3-2 lead, what turned into a wild first period of play in Game 2 of this Western Conference semifinal. A lot to dissect and analyze through this one as we were through 2 periods of play. Or excuse me, after 1 period of play. 3-2 in favor of Sioux City over Fargo in game number 2 of this Western Conference semifinal. We'll get to our intermission report. We'll do that in just a moment. Oh, yeah, that'd be fine. Heck of a play there by Gavin Eulenkamp, as he was kind of held from behind by Bailey, and he was able to just release the puck and kind of an angle behind the net, kind of bank it off the back of Ryder Shea's skate and in for a goal. That tied it up at 2, but that delight only lasted about 21 seconds as Ashton Schultz got into the offensive zone with about 5 seconds to go, went wide to the right circle, did cut towards the slot, went wide, fired a shot that went off of defenseman Garrett Lindbergh and past A.J. White for a goal. So not exactly a trick shot, but a deflected shot in to make it a 3-2 game. So both the goals for Eulenkamp and Schultz right now are scored as unassisted goals as we get to our first period summary. 3-2 in favor of Sioux City, so a 5-goal first period, and it really got wound up a little bit more, especially in the final about 8 to 9 minutes of the opening period. Daniel Booten got things started with a goal. Booten 4-11 into the first period from Dakota Bailey. And Shane Gould, a spin move, able to spin away from a couple of Fargo defenders, keep the puck and get to the forehand and score. Really a spin move, and then really not have to break stride as he put the roadside assistance from Bailey and Gould.
Expect something more.
Sioux City
Go to
advantage.
AAA.com
They added
or
to the
visit
lead
your
at
local
11-18
AAA
the first.
Your
Dakota
life
Bailey
is busy,
tipping
and getting
a
a
shot
good deal
from
on the
Booten
things you need and
as
want
Booten
shouldn't be complicated.
backhanding one
Thankfully,
from
there's
the
Valpak.
left circle, tipped
Valpak
home
is like
by
that good friend
Bailey.
who
Bailey
always
from
seems to
Booten
be in
and
the know
Gould.
and can
That
help you
trio
discover
accounting
great
for the
deals
second goal
right
as
under your
well.
nose. So
As
whether
Bailey
you need
picks
a
up
quick
his
fix,
first of the
a new look,
postseason,
or
Booten's
just
second
a place to
assist,
grab a slice,
and
our
his
famous blue
fourth
envelope and
point
offer-packed website,
of the postseason.
Valpak.com,
Shane
can
Gould
be
now
your
has
new
4
best friend.
assists in the playoffs.
To find out more, stop by
Fargo able to
Valpak.com.
respond as Colin Sisson
I like honey barbecue.
got a
You
loose
like honey
puck
barbecue.
after a
I like
first shot
football.
from Graham
I think
Jones.
you like
Sisson
football.
tracked
We're
it
like the
down
brothers
left
we
circle,
never had.
and a shot
No, I have
around
a brother.
two
But
defenders
does he have
and
time for you?
goaltender
he
Ryder
doesn't.
Shea.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like he'd
12:29 in the
be
first
here if he
period.
did.
Sisson from Jones and McCrane. Sisson's second goal of the playoffs, his third point. Graham Jones' first assist, second point, and likewise for Cullen McCrane. And that made it a 2-1 game. Then Eulenkamp's goals you heard in the highlight coming back. Appreciate that, Joe Heinen, as 1937 of the opening period. That made it a 2-2 game, but Schultz with the deflected shot off of Lindbergh and past A.J. White with 1.8 seconds to go in the opening period. And that made it a 3-2 Sioux City lead, 3-2 Musketeers as we stand through the opening 20 minutes. Shots on goal dead even, 14 apiece with Sioux City and Fargo. And one penalty, actually two penalties. Correction on that. They did call they had a slash call on Bailey. I don't see that on the as a power play, but we can tell you Stepan Cherney, 2 minutes for high sticking at 9:14. Score sheet has a slash call on Dakota Bailey. I did not see or hear that announcement if that was the case, but if that's the case, Fargo should have themselves a power play. But I don't believe that was, or I think they might have called it, and then I think that was a delayed call, and then when Eulenkamp scored, I believe, is because it came as on the same at the same time as Eulenkamp's goal, but I don't believe that probably was taken off the boards with Eulenkamp scoring on the delayed penalty call. The other semifinal out here in the Western Conference, Lincoln has rallied back to even things up at 2 down at the Denny Sanford Premier Center in Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls at a 2-0 lead. Cole Brownshausen and KJ Sauer with goals just over a minute apart, 61 seconds apart. Brownshausen is first, KJ Sauer is first of the postseason, so Lincoln has evened it up. 2-2 late in the second period, about a minute 45 to go in the second, down to the Sanford Premier Center in Sioux Falls, after Sioux Falls had taken a 2-0 lead with a pair of goals early in the second period. Sioux Falls has a 1-0 lead in that best-of-5 series. Of course, we'll host watch parties. Main locations will be at Louis Sports Bar and Grill or Pub West. You have to be at least 21 to go to either of those locations. Otherwise, you can go to Bar Down or headquarters to cheer on the Force. That'll be with video only if you want to get the video and audio to watch those games Thursday and potentially Friday. It'll be Louis Sports Bar and Grill or Pub West in West Fargo. Louis Sports Bar and Grill in West Fargo, just down and around the corner here from Shields Arena. So an interesting first period to say the least. 3-2, Sioux City with the lead. See if Fargo can respond here in the second. But Fargo, again, veteran guys that were brought in mid to late season coming through with goals, just as was the case last night with Eulenkamp and Sisson. And Fargo coming back to tie it, but again, I don't say fluky goals, but certainly those last two, not your garden variety style goals, one for each team. 3-2 in favor of Sioux City. We'll come back with more of our intermission report after this. Well, in addition to our usual platforms where you can follow Force Hockey, radio via 740 The Fan, fifth largest daytime signal on the AM side of the dial in the United States. You can check that out on FloHockey as well. It's available on their social media channels, whether you watch on the Facebook or on X or Twitter. They've got that available, and that is available for free. So you can check that out. So we've got some additional ways to follow the game today, and we certainly appreciate that with the, of course, FloHockey, the video and streaming partner of the United States Hockey League. So a lot of ways you can check this game out. It certainly got to be a thrill a minute there as we got later on into the opening period. Sioux City a 3-2 lead after one period of play. Checking out the NHL playoffs as one-game final. Western first round, Colorado, the Avalanche, beat the LA Kings by a score of 2-1. They take game one of that series. Montreal, Tampa Bay, the Canadiens lead 1-0 after one. That down in Tampa. Two games tonight, Boston and Buffalo. Sabres haven't been to the postseason in a number of years, so I imagine that that arena, that barn will be lit up tonight. The Sabres and the Bruins, it's a 6:30 face-off there. And Utah and the Vegas Golden Knights will be late tonight on ESPN. The Minnesota Wild, after a 6-1 hammer down of the Dallas Stars yesterday, 8:30 tomorrow night, game two of that series, with the Wild up 1-9. NBA playoffs, two finals already. Oklahoma City, top seed in the West, no problem with the Phoenix Suns, 119-84. And the Boston Celtics, 123-91 over the Philadelphia 76ers. Orlando leads Detroit, first quarter 22-10. First round series in the East. Later tonight, it'll be Portland at San Antonio. The Timberwolves and Denver, a real late start tomorrow. If you're going to watch the Wild and or the Timberwolves, you're going to have to probably caffeinate up or take a nap in the afternoon or something. That'll be a 9:30 tip with the Wolfies and the Nuggets tomorrow night, game two of that series. Twins couldn't hold the lead again, as lost the lead in the ninth and lost in the 10th inning, 7-4 to the Cincinnati Reds. So Minnesota gets swept in their three-game series, and two of those games they lost leads late. So Twins back to 500. They will go on a week-long road trip to New York to face the Mets in Tampa Bay this coming week. So just some scores from around the NBA and NHL playoffs and from Major League Baseball as well. 2-2 with Lincoln and Sioux Falls. Let's see if that any change on that score, and they've hit the second intermission down in Sioux Falls with the Stars and the Herd tied at 2. 3-2 Sioux City here. We're back with period number 2. For your folks on the FloHockey side, we'll go through the highlights and get you ready for period number 2, game 2 of this best of 5 with Fargo leading 1-0. Musketeers 3, Force 2. We're back in a moment.
Check out the video board for the Dakota Magic.
Yes.
Let's see what Kansas slot machine will pick for
Okay.
us tonight.
Well, if you need to go less, that's fine, but we can do 2.
And we'll get you up on that Dakota Magic Casino can on a Sunday afternoon, game 2. Let's do it. Flex cam. Very nice. Well done. You're on Flex cam. There it is. Yes. Very good. There's a row that needs to be on Flex cam. Thank you. Very good. We have the balloons going. There you are. You made it. There it is. Nice job on Flex cam. Ready to go. Four Station Shields Arena doing Flex cam. We see you. Yeah, you're doing great. And you made Flex cam over. There's a row. Look at that. They need to be on Flex cam, and you made it on a Sunday afternoon. You're on Flex cam. Ready to go. Prepared. Right on the glass. We see you. We're so
Oh, that sounds good.
We're looking good on Flex cam right there. And welcome to the ice for the second period. Make some noise
Well, as we get into those first period highlights, spinning play by Daniil Booten, spinning away from two Fargo defenders and scoring to make it 1-0. There's Graham Jones trying to stem the stick and wrap it around Ryder Shea and could not. And then Booten again right in the middle of the action, backhanding the puck in front, tipped home by Dakota Bailey. They reviewed for goalie interference, but good goal, 2-0. Here's Colin McCrate with a clean shot from the point. Meantime, Ashton Schultz with the drive. That one hit the pipe. Max Anderson, a drive that A.J. White kicked aside with some help from Arseny Marchenko. Gavin Uhlenkamp tied up and able to get it back and bank it in off the back of the goaltender, Ryder Shea. That tied it up at 2. We're going to see again. Yeah, kind of banked it off the back of Shea, and then here's Schultz's shot coming wide, deflecting off of Lindbergh and into the back of the net past A.J. White. And that made it a 3-2 Sioux City game. So 3-2 Musketeers. Those last 2 goals unassisted. Last 2 goals in the final 30 seconds of the period. The Musketeers, who have not trailed in this one, have a 1-goal lead. And they win the face-off. D'Alessandro dumps it in. Fargo comes back away with it. Here comes Uhlenkamp. Uhlenkamp across the line, fires a shot, kicked aside. Blocker save there by Ryder Shea. Comes back and taken out by O'Leary. O'Leary down the right wing boards, trying to get around Cherney. O'Leary claims the puck in the corner, sends it along the end boards, and back to neutral ice. D'Alessandro settles down a fluttering puck. Booten at the red line will fire it in. It will carry him back to A.J. White, who drops it off for Cherney, and here comes Fargo with it. Shots on goal, they've adjusted the shots on goal. 16-13 now in favor of the Force as Ryder Shea backhands that one along. Booten at the red line, fumbles with it. Now drops it off for Stinger. Stinger will fire it in as icing will be the call, as he was kind of back towards his blue line. 3-2 your score. Let's see if they made any adjustments on the scoring on any of those goals. Shots on goal, so they've made some adjustments to the shots on goal as well. They now have it 17-12. Shots on goal were 16-12 in favor of Fargo in the opening period. Initially they had 14-14, but we did a little review and a little cleanup in the intermission as Arseny Marchenko. When you get to the end of the period like that and you had 2 goals so quick, probably need a few moments to make sure you got it right. Here's Marchenko, a drive. Saved by Ryder Shea. Trying to go to the stick side on the Sioux City netminder. Gave up 2 goals in a 6-2 win. Pass intercepted by Tomko. Tomko from center will flip it in. They did give Luke Gary an assist on the Ashton Schultz goal. So Luke Gary with 63 points on the year. Assists on the goal, which makes it 3-2 Sioux City. Behind the net comes Shane Gould. So they did add an assist on that. The rest of the scoring from the first period remains unchanged. Here's a sharp angle shot from Gould off the side of the net for the Musketeers. Comes back to Lyons. Lyons will shovel it down the right wing boards behind the net. Pass broken up. They tried to center in front on the attempt there from Gavin Gary. Loose puck claimed by Brooks Cullen for Fargo. Cullen at center. Comes across the line. Shovels it behind Jones. Leads to a transition opportunity. Turnover. Ashton Schultz finds Gary, and offside will be the call. Sioux City skater took a spill. That was Jeffress. As racing in down the left wing boards was Luke Gary, and offside will be the call. 17:46 to play. It started with pass from Cullen behind Graham Jones, which led to the transition opportunity off the turnover, but of course might have been saved a little bit by the offside whistle. 17:46 to go in the second. Fargo out shooting Sioux City 18-13 so far. 2-1 second period. The Musketeers have a 3-2 lead in game 2 of this semifinal here in the Western Conference. Mattern lets that come through deep into the offensive zone. Saganin takes a hit from Elias Votny. Saxton Tess will chase it down for the Force. Gets the feedback from Cullen McCrate, forced up towards the blue line, sends it back to the corner. Mattern plays it to the end boards. Will shovel it back to Cullen McCrate. Feed left circle for Saxton Tess. Tess trying to get around Gary and can't. Turnover taken by Elias Votny. Votny gains the line. Waits for a little bit of help. Drops to left circle. Gary, a drive blocked. Helen McCray got a piece of that. Now Gavin Gary gets it back. Gary stick handles. Loose back in front for Gary. Shot deflected. A.J. White got a piece of it. Like he just able to graze it with the goalie mitt and carried out by Sagaden. Sagaden across the line, and offside's going to be the call as one of those skaters at the blue line, I think Mattern might have got a skate in ahead of the puck. So a stoppage with 16:53 to play in the second period. Game 3 will be Thursday night, 7:05 at the Tyson Event Center in Sioux City, Iowa. Game 4, if needed, would be Friday night, and if we go the distance, 28th here, a Tuesday at Shields Arena, 6:05 would be the start time if we indeed go to Game 5. I would not be floored if that happened. Here's Anderson. Pass broken up by Deladata. Here's Dyer. Dyer, even though Fargo had 16 more points in the regular season, Sioux City, it's always, last couple of years, has been a tough matchup for Fargo. Here's Eulenkamp. Eulenkamp right circle of drive. Shea, the save, prevents a rebound and hangs on. And will halt it once more. 16:32 to play. We mentioned third straight year they met in the postseason. Sioux City has won Game 2 both times. There you see Eulenkamp again putting that puck on net. 4-1 in Game 2, and that was the Clark Cup championship and the Anderson Cup champion Force team from 2 years ago, but that was the one blip on the radar. They were down 2-1 in that series and were facing expulsion from the postseason, but eventually came through and won a convincing Game 5 performance as delayed penalty call coming here, I believe, heading to the bench. We'll get the sixth attacker out there. Heading to the bench was A.J. White, so a penalty coming against Sioux City. Cherney is Fargo trying to play keep away to get that sixth attacker out there. Finally touched up by goaltender Shea and then D'Alessandro, so Fargo will get a power play opportunity here. Penalty coming against the Musketeers, their first of the night. It's going to be against Aiden Dyer. Dyer on a hooking call will give Fargo a power play. So 3:50 in the second. There's Dyer. Ah, there was the hook right there, sending Deladata down. So Dyer and a hook. Fargo went 1 of 2 on the power play last night. We'll get a man advantage here. Mason West on the face-off. Good face-off man wins the draw here. Sisson up high. Works his way down the left wing boards. Settling into the corner. Sisson down low. West playing catch with Colin Sisson. Back for West in front. Tried to stuff it in with a forehand and could not. Back to Sisson. Behind the net, feed for Jones, just out of the reach of Cherney, and the puck goes the length of the ice. West was capped in front, tried to send it back to the point, out of the reach of Jones and Cherney. Couldn't get his stick down in time. Fargo will reset. Here's Jones with it, drops it off for Colin Sisson. Sisson to the corner, rings it around far side, waiting for it Mason West. Works his way to the half wall, drops it off. Now Cherney up high. Cherney down low it goes for Graham Jones with a power play goal last night. Little stutter step, stop and go move. Here's Cherney now for Sisson. Glides his way left circle. Colin Sisson, stick handles down low West for Sisson. West, goal line extended. Laterals out to the corner. Here's Sisson down low. Goal line extended. West again for Sisson. 54 to go on the man advantage. 3-2 Sioux City here in the second. Who's back behind the net? Sisson. Sisson tied up. Now it goes for Graham Jones. Jones left circle. Kind of top of the left circle. Jones now attacks down low. Sisson. And puck deflected out through the slot. Zimmerman trying to keep it in. O'Leary after it for Sioux City. Play goes back to the red line. Carried back in by Stepan Cherney. Cherney now for West. 26 to go on the power play. Puck rings around to the near side. Graham Jones trying to get there. Puck battle at the half wall. Puck comes back to the blue line. And fired in deep on the force again. Lions will play it. Should have a chance for a clear. And he will send it the length of the ice. 11 seconds to go on the power play. One shot on goal. This man advantage here for the Force is it's a 3-2 Sioux City game. Deladata comes across the line. Deladata comes in wide. Try to backhand that one in front. Broken up by the Musketeers. And Sioux City clears it again and all the way down. Icing will be the call. So they kill off the penalty. And an icing call will lead to a offensive zone face-off for the Force. 14:04 to go in the second. So Sioux City now 5 of 6 on the penalty kill here in the postseason. In this, their 4th game of the postseason. Swept Tri-City in the best of 3 last weekend. 2 games to none, an overtime win on Friday. And a 6-2 victory off the face-off Lindbergh. Now for Mattard. Mattard shot, save, rebound in front, and in for a goal! Rebound sent home to tie it, Jacob Saganin. Evens things up at 3. Found the rebound to the backhand and pass Ryder Shea. Fargo put traffic in front, and a nice play by Sagan as he got tripped up from behind by Stinger, but to the backhand and into the back of the net. We're even again at 3 apiece. Saganin's first of the postseason. Bryce Mattard should get an assist on that as Saganin and Tess crashing the net. And that's been one thing this year where Fargo gets a lot of shots on goal, but at times doesn't always get bodies in front. Well, they did for the first goal last night, and same thing applies here. Rebound goal from Saganin, back to even at 3 here at Shields Arena. Here in game number 2. Puck battle in front of the Fargo bench as Mattern will fire it in deep. Shea will drop it to a stop, and Olsen will play it back behind the net. So Mattern will get an assist. We'll see if they tack a second assist. Diagonal feed off the stick of Bailey. Will go deep into the Sioux City offensive zone. A.J. White backhands it along. Now we'll get back into the cage as Mattern. Pass for Saganin, trying to spin around Gary. And here comes Saxton Tess. Tess poked away from behind, claimed by Bailey, tries to shoot it around. Kept in at the point, Arseny Marchenko. D-to-D feed, here's McCrate. Shot in front, traffic in front for Tess, and a glove save by Shea. Bailey ready to mix it up. Now Mattern joins in. Officials will get everybody separated. Saganin wants a piece of one of the Musketeers. That's why you have 2 referees and 2 linesmen, because one skirmish turned into 2 and multiplied into 3. But I think cooler heads are going to prevail. I think the penalty boxes will stay empty, and that will be the case. Time out of the ice. 13:05 to go in the second. Fargo's evened it up. Musketeers 3, Force 3. We're back in 60 at 740 The Fan and FloHockey.
They're going to race around that cone you see. The first one around the cone to the finish line will be your winner. And whichever can wins the race, that beer will be 2 for 1 for the remainder of the period. We're getting set up. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Coors Line on the outside of the lead. Here we go. Around we go. Who will survive the turn? Busch Light and Traeger are now in the lead. Here we go! And your winner, Busch Light.
Busch Light the winner in the beer can race tonight. Busch Light the winner. Hello. Busch Light the winner in the beer can race here this evening, as it is a 3-3 tie, and we do have a couple of players in the penalty box as well. Some penalties were assessed, both at 6:55, as it is Saxton Tess for Fargo and Gavin Carr for the Sioux City Musketeers, both roughing penalties at 6:55. So we'll be 4-on-4 here for a couple of minutes. I wondered at first, I thought, well, maybe they're going to let them both off scot-free, but that was not the case. So 4-on-4 here. The Fargo goal, Saganin from Bryce Mattern and Saxton Tess. First goal of the postseason for Saganin, first assist for both Tess and Mattern. So that line gets a goal to even things up. Fargo now out shooting Sioux City 23-13. Christian Lyons gains the line here for the Musketeers. Play comes to the near corner. Now Dyer after it. Comes back up the wall, centering feed intercepted by the force. Feed down ice, Eulenkamp. Eulenkamp gathers it in, puts the brakes on, sends it back to the point. Loose and out of the reach. Fargo cannot maintain the zone. Puck goes the length of the ice. So 4-on-4 here for another minute and 17 seconds. Fargo's been tied at 2 and now at 3. Eulenkamp behind the net. Eulenkamp circles around, now drops it for Colin McCrate. McCrate trying to get around to Olsen, chopped at it. Puck came in front, intercepted as Tomko from Schultz. Poked away back by McCrate at the blue line. Cullen trying to force a turnover, and indeed he did. Cullen McCrate bouncing puck just inside the Fargo zone. Feed for Tomko. Tomko, nice job to poke that away by Garrett Lindberg. Here's Gould, top of the left circle. Again, very structured squad is what Brett Skinner, in a word, defines the Musketeers. Pass for Schultz. Schultz left circle down to the corner. Centering feed in front. Shot at the side of the net. Found Shane Gould, and really a strong feed, perfect feed. And Gould hit it off the side of the goal from a sharp angle. 25 seconds left of 4-on-4. 11.5 to go in the second. The Force and the Musketeers even at 3. Game 2 of this Western Conference semifinal from Shields Arena. Bouncing puck took a strange carom. As Lindbergh trying to dig that puck out of the corner. Long feed, stretch pass, Colin Sisson. Sisson left circle. Sends it up high. Here's Cherney. Cherney a drive save. Rebound Sisson. And boy, couldn't get all of it. And a save made there by Shea. Boy, if he'd have got that right on the tip of his stick, could have been 4-3. We're back to 5-on-5 now. Here's a turnover taken back by Jones. West and Tess with him. Here's Jones. Zigzags into the slot. Shot. Pat save there by Ryder Shea. Loose puck here near side as Jones after it. So is Saxton Tess. So that turnover turned into a transition opportunity. And not a bad scoring chance there for the Force. Cherney. Pass for Tess. Now for Mason West. Grabs into the run. Mason West a shot. Saved by Shea. Got a piece of it as the puck went across the ice and eventually the length of the ice and all the way down. Cherney after it. Sioux City will go on a line change. So will Fargo. At least a partial change. Saganin comes in there now. Mattern Mason West at the end of his shift. Booten chops it free. Taken by Tomko for the Musketeers. Tomko leaves it for Gould, who comes across the line. Shane Gould stick handles it. Poked away behind by Mattern. Now Dakota Bailey. Bailey right circle. A drive blocked. Gould plays into the right circle. Now spins around. Poked away by Marchenko. Here's Tomko as play goes over to the corner. West sends it back behind the net for Garrett Lindbergh. Across the halfway mark here in the second period. Long feed for Mattern. Gathers it in. Bryce Mattern drops it off. Pass intercepted. Taken back by Daniil Booten for Sioux City. Pass for Bailey at center. Bailey drops the puck at the blue line. Gould feed. Pass broken up for West. Trying to fight a cutting Lions. Here's Tomko a drive through traffic. Blocked. Looked like Saganin got a piece of it. I don't think it got to A.J. White. Here's Booten now for the Musketeers. Cuts in right circle. Now to the corner for Bailey. Back it goes for Lions. Left circle. There's a shot. Glove save, A.J. White. The shot from Carr, top of the left circle. White, the glove save, prevents a rebound, and we'll get a immediate timeout once more. 9:27 to go in the second period. A lot of end-to-end action. We remain even. Force of the Musketeers tied at 3 in game 2. We are back in 60 seconds on 740 The Fan. KVOI 11.4 and FloHockey.
We're starting off great, and there's the road you want to hang out with when you're doing inflatable land camp. Well done, Fargo. Here it comes. We're making noise. We're cheering the Force. We're doing inflatable land camp. Oh, we're the Heat. We're the hometown heroes. We're in the Force jersey. Everything right there. Looking good. Looking sharp. That inflatable land camp. And we do see you. You made the inflatable land camp. We're supporting the Force, getting behind them, doing that inflatable man camp. We got the balloons going, very good, we like that. And we see you, we got the towels even, we like that. Inflatable man camp, all ages. On the inflatable man camp, very nice. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's well done. Nice job on inflatable man camp, Shields Arena. Time to cheer for your Fargo Force.
3-3 tie here with 9:27 to play in the second period. Joe Heinen back in the studios of Radio Home 740 The Fan, Midwest Radio Fargo Moorhead. I'm Brad Anderson. This is game 2 of this best of 5 series. And now 9:29 to Sioux City starting on Thursday night, 7:05. Loose puck, Colin McCrate. McCrate checked by Gary. Able to clear the zone, loose puck. Tess reaching for it, can't get to it. Play comes in front of the Fargo bench, carried back in by Max Anderson. Anderson set down by Lindbergh, might have lost a blade in the process as well. Here's Zimmerman. Zimmerman across the line as Cullen cuts to the right circle. Behind the net comes Zimmerman. Zimmerman sends it back for Arseny Marchenko. Cross icers, Lindbergh, a drive tip. That tipped on its way there. Feet in front, Cullen tied up, tried to chop it, flipped it up and over the net. Tried to elevate that shot, I don't know if intentionally, but it ended up in just above the crossbar. Loose in front, Cullen, a shot redirected, just tipped and wide. Fargo trying to put some traffic in front on Ryder Shea. Marchenko, D to D, Lindbergh, behind the net. Brooks Cullen couldn't get to it, intercepted, taken back by D'Alessandro. Fargo 27-16, edge and shots on goal, 11-4 here in period number 2. Broken stick far side, Cullen gets set down, penalty coming here against Sioux City. I believe Luke Gary's going to go in. He tried to maneuver his way in the right circle, got set down, and Fargo goes to the power play. So Luke Gary goes in, and the crowd comes to life here at Shields Arena. Make it Gavin Gary out of the Gary twins. A trip called. So Gary in, and again another stick. His was the broken stick. I think he was kind of pleading his case, saying, hey, the broken stick here might have had something to do with that. 11:41 on the penalty on the tripping call. And Fargo, it's their second power play of the game. Eulenkamp, West. Now Jones will take the face-off as West. It's kicked out of the face-off dot. Sisson and Cherney off the face-off. Fargo wins it. Eulenkamp, here's Colin Sisson. Back it goes for Stepan Cherney. Now up high, Jones, Cherney at the point. Now Sisson left circle. West capped in front as he should be. As big a body as he is. Now Cherney back at the point. There's a shot, looking for a tip, redirected and wide. Eulenkamp, here's a shot up high and a glove save. Actually, no, went up into the netting. Trying to elevate that shot just above all kinds of traffic in front, into the netting and out of play. 7:57 to go in the second, 1:38 to go on the penalty to Gavin Gary. 3-3 here, early third in Sioux Falls. Lincoln and Sioux Falls Stampede in the other Western Conference semifinal, even at 2. So Gary on a trip at 11:41, putting Fargo here to the second power play of, now we can see the evening. Off the draw, poke free there by Mason West. D'Alessandro to play it. Eulenkamp, collision there. Now Jones trying to dig that puck free. Is down as Luke Gary, as he was kind of down to the seat of his breezers, and the puck kind of got caught kind of between the legs, or at least between the skates of Gary. And the officials will stop it with 1:28 to go in the man advantage. Fargo gets an offensive zone face-off. D'Alessandro, Aiden Dyer, along with Lyons and Luke Gary, penalty kill unit out there for the Sioux City Musketeers. Off the face-off, Cherney. Cherney now for Colin Sisson. Sisson glides his way to the corner. Now for Cherney, holds it in at the point. D to D, as walking in is Jones. Back up high, Cherney. Cherney stumbles, but finds Graham Jones. 1:07 to go in the power play. One-timer, Sisson a drive, save, rebound loose, cleared aside. No, but kept in by Cherney. One-timer, Jones saved by Ryder Shea. Well, that rebound was loose. Sioux City thought they'd cleared it out, but kept in by Cherney at the point. Here's Mason West. Sisson calling for it. Cherney back for Sisson. One-timer saved by Shea. Rebound comes long back to Colin Sisson. Fargo putting some pressure on. At least 3 shots on this power play on goal. Actually make it 4. They're up to 31 shots. Here's Eulenkamp, a one-timer. West shot, save, and rebound scooped up there by Ryder Shea. Made the first save and made sure he didn't have to make a second. Boy, Fargo has been persistent, patient, and aggressive all at once if you can be. But they've, sometimes you wait for that perfect shot, but they've been just steady and putting pressure on Ryder Shane. He has passed the test. Still 35 to go in the power play. Boy, if they can kill this off with all the pressure, that's at least 4 shots on goal. Might even be 5. Still 35 seconds on this man advantage. The Musketeers and the Force are tied at 3. Fargo wins the faceoff. Sisson keeps it in, works his way down the wall near side. Feed down low for West. Fake the pass, tried to stuff it home short side. Now Sisson loose. Eulenkamp redirects it to Cherney. Cherney gets it back from Jones. Feed in front through 2 men behind the net. West tried to play it and cleared out by Sioux City. Tomko hustling after it. Cherney will get there first. Pass broken up by William Tomko. Loose. And now Jones will claim it as the power play ticks away. And we are back to even strength. Gary out of the sin bin. Here is West. Feed. Pass into the slot. Broken up. Sisson trying to get to it. And Jones gets it back. Works his way down low. Cuts in front. Puck deflected. Taken off his stick in front. Never got a shot off. And Sioux City clears it. And all the way down, icing will be called. 6:01 to go in the second. Jones tried to cut his way in front. I think goaltender Shea might have, with the goalie stick, popped that out of the possession of Graham Jones. 6:01 to go in the second. Fargo now a little over 2-1 edge in shots on goal. 34-16, 18-4 here in the second period. We're even at 3. Sagaden and Ashton Schultz on the faceoff to the right of Ryder Shea. It's like both men got in early. We'll keep Sagan in the faceoff dot. No, he won't. Wyatt Corrigan, one of the linesmen. Now they will give Sagan a second chance on that draw off the faceoff. Won by the Force. Lindbergh. Now Cullen McCrate brings it around to the far side, reaching for it, trying to get to it. There is Derek Olson. Tess returns it back up the wall far side, claimed by McCrate. Fires it at cross ice. Diagonal feed there as Tess couldn't get removed there from Olson. Here come the Musketeers with Schultz. 3-on-4. Up by Schultz gets it back, has it poked away from behind. O'Leary didn't get all that shot as he tried to wind into one close to the high slot. Slowly worked its way towards the net. Ray J. White scoops it up. 5:33 to go in the second. 3-3 tie as line of Deladonna, Cullen, and McNamara out there for Fargo with Garrett Lindbergh and Stepan Cherney on defense. So, again, basically, we have seen basically 4 defensemen. They have Subnewski and Zaid Penner, but I don't know if Penner's had a shift. We didn't call his name. Cherney for McNamara. McNamara back in front. There's that shot slitting through the top of the crease and wide. Fargo maintains the zone. Here's Cullen. Cullen a shot and a glove save. Traffic in front. McNamara waiting for a rebound. Now McNamara and Delisandro will have to be separated. Delisandro trying to get a shot there on McNamara. Now 2 of the officials will keep that duo from one another. 5:17 to go in the second. McNamara waiting for a rebound that never arrived as Ryder Shea comes up with save number 32 already on the night. Again, Fargo, steady offensive pressure. They've had a lot of offensive zone time here in the second period. Delisandro, you see a left from McNamara. Delisandro responded with a shot with the right hand. That was pretty much it. Cullen on the draw. Steady pressure from the Force. Granted, they've had a couple of power plays as well. That last power play was really, even though they didn't score, that's one of those where you didn't score and say, we did some things right on that. Off the faceoff. Cullen. Now Cherney. D-to-D feed. And fired hard by Lindbergh off the inboards. Comes to Deladonna near the left circle. Diagonal feed. Lindbergh throws it in front. Shea at the edge of the crease. And we'll do cover that puck and get a stoppage. 5:03 to go in the second period. Again, Fargo. And it starts by winning faceoffs with West. That time, Cullen. You got some guys that are pretty good at winning faceoffs with those 2, namely. I get the feeling that Fargo maybe has Sioux City on its heels a little bit, but Shea has come up large. the second period. Ice has certainly been tilted Fargo's direction. 3-3 tie. Fargo has not had the lead in this one tonight. We're down 2-0 and 3-2. McNamara drive, and they have the lead now. Tipped home, redirected home by Brooks Cullen. Fargo leads 4-3-4. McNamara blasted, redirected home by Brooks Cullen. Cullen gets his first goal of the postseason. Now the home team has the lead. 15:02 of the second period. Cullen from McNamara. We'll see who gets the second assist. That is it for Ryder Shea. He has been pulled, and Jack Fickthorn come on down. So Fickthorn, 42 saves last night, coming in out of the bullpen. So Fickthorn in Ryder Shea's defense. Hey, he had to withstand a lot of pressure. So 4-3 Fargo with the lead. Here's Booten, fires it in. Karam's here to the near side. Hit applied there, and a big hit, I believe, by Tomko. Fargo comes away with it west. Now for Colin Sisson. Sisson head on a swivel. Try to center it between West and Jones. Marchenko keeps it in. Marchenko try to get a second defender to pop it free. Jones a drive, saved by Fickthorn, and cleared aside by Sioux City. He got the save. The puck was behind him, but got some help. One of the Sioux City D-men able to clear that puck aside. Stretch pass, Sisson will send it along. And Derek Olson will play it. Ring it around here. The length of the ice it goes. O'Leary trying to get to it, and he'll be the first one of the puck. Feed in front. Here's Gary, a drive, and Sioux City ties it up. Gavin Gary, a one-timer in the slot, and buries it past A.J. White. The Fargo lead didn't last long. It's 4-4. Really, that long ice length pass, O'Leary got to it. Fargo was trying to get back on defense. Meantime, Gavin Gary got a clean look from the slot and wasn't going to miss that. Beats A.J. White, but really that long pass to avoid the icing call. O'Leary getting to that puck. But that's really how that goal got started. 15:48. Gavin Gary picks up the goal. And again, when Fargo tied it late in the first, Sioux City answered. Fargo taking the lead. And once again, the Musketeers respond. It's 4 apiece. Pass off the skate of O'Leary. Loose taken by Saganin. Saganin stick handles a drive high and wide. Nearly went up the shoulder of Fickthorn. Loose puck back to neutral ice. Here's Lindbergh for Cherney. 3:48 to go here in the second period. Saganin takes a hit from behind from O'Leary. Gaining the line is Gavin Gary. Gary comes wide. Brings it around to the far side where Kyle O'Leary will play it now for Sioux City. Tied up, puck taken back by Stepan Cherney. Now in deep, Mason Stenger in the corner. Stenger gets around a Fargo skater. And Lindbergh drops it off. Here's Gary again. Feed down low. They throw it in front, deflected out, and carried out by Saxton Tess. Has Saganin with him. Tess comes across the line, stick handles. Drops it for Saganin. Now back for Tess in front. Shot blocked. D'Alessandro and Fickthorn got a piece of it. The broken stick on the ice. Fargo with possession. Here's Deladonna. Here's Deladonna, left circle the drive. Fickthorn the save. Camp puck battle with D'Alessandro as they work their way up the end boards. Inside of 3 minutes to go in the second. Here's Marchenko. D-to-D feed for Cullen McCray. Now McNamara up high. McCray drops it off bottom of the circle. Eulenkamp shot hit the side of the net. Might have grazed the crossbar, at least top left corner. Here's Marchenko. Now it goes up high. McNamara. Eulenkamp a shot blocked. Deflects over to the far side. Luke Gary there to play it for Sioux City, but kept in by Gavin Eulenkamp in front. Threw it in front. Got to the goaltender Jack Fickthorn and hangs on. 2:28 to go in the second period. We're tied at 4. Fargo now 40 shots on goal. Well, the scoring in the last 2 goals, Brooks Cullen from Luke McNamara and Stepan Cherney, which gave Fargo a short-lived 4-3 lead at 15:02. Then Gavin Gary from Elias Votny and Kyle O'Leary at 15:48. evening things up once more. 4-4 in what has been a very entertaining hockey game here in game 2. 2:28 to go in the second. Fargo has 24 shots on goal in this period. We still got 2.5 minutes left. Here's Dyer. Dyer for Tomko. Backhands it along. Dyer behind the net. Met to the end boards by Cherney. Loose wraparound feed. Try to wrap it around. Was Dakota Bailey. Denied there. Cullen back the other way for Fargo. Left circle to the forehand. A shot missed the net. Comes to Lindbergh. Now behind the net, Zach Zimmerman. There's a lot of Moorhead spuds on the ice there with Cullen. Shovels it around near side. Dyer there to play it. It's tangled up with Wyatt Sipnewski, who's out there. Comes back up the wall to neutralize. Cherney right in front of the Fargo bench will fire it back in. Fires it in deep. Fargo will change up Mason West and Marchenko to complete the forced line change. Giveaway, turnover. Here is Mason West. Sent to the boards by Votny to the end boards. Handled there by Lyon. Shovels it back up the wall. Zimmerman after it. And here comes McCrae. 1:34 to go in the second period. And a 4-4 tie in game 2. Bouncing puck after it, Tomko. And Tomko rings it around over to the far side. Here's McCrae. Giveaway. Votny shot block left circle. Sticks come up high with he and McCrae. Loose puck back to neutral ice. Gary tied up with Sipnewski. And Gavin Gary gets it back. Fired back in by Elias Votny. Behind the net comes A.J. White to play it. Marchenko tangled up in the corner. 1:05 to go in the second. Puck claimed by Fargo. Here comes Graham Jones. Jones with a full head of steam. Final minute here in the second. Here's Jones. Jones behind the net. Tried to throw it in front. Lost the puck. Got it back. Has Sisson with him. Loose goal line extended. Shoveled aside by Gold. Now Jones for Cherney. D-to-D feed. Lindbergh. Shot block. Elias Votny got a piece of it. Loose. Kept in the offensive zone. Jones in front. Shot just sliding wide of goaltender Fichthorn. Fichthorn let that one sail through. 33 seconds to go in the period. Here's Cherney. Cherney a drive and a glove save. Fichthorn right at the edge of the crease. Sisson waiting for a rebound that never arrived. 30.4 to go in the second down in Sioux Falls. The Stampede lead. 8:42 to go in the third. Stampede 3 and Lincoln 2 in game 2 of that Western Conference semifinal. So face-off will be to the right of Jacob Sagan, or excuse me, to the right of Fichthorn. Sagan takes the draw here with Schultz. And Sioux City claims the puck with Stenger. Stenger down the left wing boards. He's checked. Puck comes free. Mattern finds Sagan trying to come across the line. He gets tied up. Back to neutral ice. Feed cross ice. Across the line comes Trey Jeffress. Drops it back for D'Alessandro, weaving around Fargo traffic. 12 seconds to go. Backhands it for Gary. That's Luke Gary in the corner. Feed right circle. Schultz gets tied up. Played off the puck. Here's Mattern. Mattern gets it back at center. 2 seconds left. Mattern tests, fires, and a glove save by Fichthorn. Trying to tap it back home was Mattern as the second period comes to a close. Players will have to get separated from one another. Tasked the shot, trying to beat the second quarter horn, and then crashing the net was Bryce Mattern. Cooler heads will prevail, and we are even going into the third period of play. So a 4-4 tie as Fargo tied it on a goal from Jacob Sagan. A little over 6 minutes into the second period, then Brooks Cullen tipping home a shot from McNamara, which gave Fargo a brief lead. That lead lasted less than a minute. Gavin Gary able to respond and tie the game. So a lot to get to in the second period. It has been entertaining to say the least. Game 2 of this Western Conference semifinal from Shields Arena. Through 2, Sioux City 4, Fargo 4. Intermission report comes up in just a moment.
So here's how we do this. When I give the signal, not before, but when I give the signal, you'll have 60 seconds to chuck those pucks. And if your puck lands closest to the center of any one of those prize cards you see at center ice, well, you're a winner on a Sunday afternoon at the Fargo Force game. Western Conference semifinals.
Yeah, that'd be great.
30 seconds remaining, 30 seconds.
Now McNamara with a drive from the point. Redirected home by Brooks Cullen, and we are even at 4 as we are in the second intermission here at Shields Arena, as that lead was short-lived. We say short-lived, 46 seconds would fall in the category of short-lived. 4-4 tie, and it has been a back and forth, I don't want to say thrill a minute, but we've had some twists and turns in chapter 2 of this 5-game series, which you certainly, well, it's entertaining. If, like I said, if you are fully engaged in this, it's a little bit of a challenge on the blood pressure. 4-4 tie here through 2 periods of play before a nice crowd here at Shields Arena for game 2. As Fargo kind of been chasing the score here for much of this, down 2-0 early, came back to tie it. That tie lasted 21 seconds. Fargo evened it up in the second period, took a brief lead, but Gavin Gary able to respond with a blast from the slot to tie things up. And really, we talked about it, it was really a nice play. Basically a pass sent the length of the ice, and Kyle O'Leary able to avoid the icing call, was the first one to the puck in the corner. That kept play going and eventually led to Gavin Gary with a clean look in front to beat goaltender A.J. White to even things up at 4. So, taking a peek at the second period summary here, Fargo did tie it. Jacob Saganin, rebound goal at 6:02 of the first from Bryce Mattern and Garrett Lindberg. Lindberg is 3rd assist of this series, and first assist for Mattern, first goal for Jacob Saganin, and that made it a 3-3 tie. So Saganin on the season here for the Fargo Force. Saganin had an overtime winner early in the season back in October to beat Des Moines, and gets his first of the postseason. So that made it 3-3. Fargo indeed did tie the game. Saganin in the regular season, by the way, 11 goals, 12 assists in 61 games played. Fargo did take the lead. That highlight you heard courtesy of producer Joe Heinen. Luke McNamara got a feed from Cherney. Shot from the point, tipped home by Brooks Cullen. 15:02 of the second period. Cullen from McNamara and Stepan Cherney. Cherney's second assist of the series. First for McNamara, the first goal, and I believe the first postseason goal for Brooks Cullen. In fact, indeed it is. There was a 4-3 lead, 15:02 the time of the goal, but Gavin Gary evening things up 46 seconds later. Gary from Botany and Kyle O'Leary, and that evens things up at 4. So 4 apiece through 2 periods of play. Shots on goal, 26-7 in favor of Fargo. The Force did get 2 power plays. Boy, they did hold a lot of offensive zone time in the second period, but despite that, Fargo only had the lead for less than a minute. 42-19 shots on goal in favor of the Fargo Force. So saves so far. Shea was pulled after that 4th goal. He had 33 saves while he was in there. Jack Fickthorn came in for the final 4:58 of the second period, and you figure it's going to be his the rest of the way, as he had 5 saves, stopped all 5 shots that he faced in the 4 minutes and 58 seconds where he was in there. So 5 saves for Fickthorn after 42 last night. Meantime, for A.J. White, after 30 saves last night, he has 15 saves facing 19 shots through 2 periods of play. Penalties in the second period. Aiden Dyer for Sioux City, 2 minutes for hooking. That came at 3:50. Sioux City killed off that penalty. Saxton Tess and Gavin Carr at 6:55, each 2 minutes for roughing. We went 4-on-4, and nobody scored in those 2 minutes. And then Gavin Gary on a trip at 11:41. Fargo is 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Actually, let's see here. Have 1 of 2 on the board. He's looking. It's not a power play goal, I believe. So 0 of 2 on the man advantage for Fargo, and 0 of 1 for Sioux City on the man advantage this evening. Unless they're saying the Eulenkamp goal is a power play goal, so they have a penalty assessed to Dakota Bailey at 19:37 on a slash. I thought that was a delay penalty called. They're crediting Eulenkamp with a power play goal. I'm not sure if that's right, but that's what they have on the stat sheet. But they might do a little sweep and do a little double check on that. Penalties so far on the night. As Fargo, 2 power play opportunities, 2 penalties, 4 minutes for the Force, 4 penalties, 8 minutes for the Sioux City Musketeers. 4-4 here. Lincoln has come back, I believe, to tie it. At last look, I believe it was even once again down in Sioux Falls. And let me double check that. 2:12 to go in the third period. It is Lincoln and Sioux Falls even at 3. They're also in game 2 of their best of 5 series. Down I 29. Cade Kohansky did indeed tie it. 14:35 into the third period after Jack Browdy had given Sioux Falls the lead. 7:40 in the third from Joey McCreena and Cooper Solar. That was a power play goal. Cade Kohansky from Nick Young and Alex Pelletier evening things up again. So Lincoln was down 2-0. Came back to knot things up at 2. And same things apply in the third period. After Sioux Falls took a 3-2 lead, Cade Kohansky evens things up. Minute and a half to go down in Sioux Falls. Lincoln 3 and Sioux Falls 3. So both Western Conference series in game 2 and are both even up. Not a surprise if you followed the USHL, especially in the Western Conference, as tight as it's been. Maybe not so much this year, where Sioux Falls and Fargo kind of separated themselves from the rest of the pack, but once you get into the second season, you're not surprised. Lincoln with a high scoring line, pretty decent goaltending against a well-balanced Sioux Falls squad. So we'll take a break, come back with more of our intermission report. We'll check the NHL and NBA playoffs as the Force and Musketeers even at 4 in game 2 after 2 periods of play. We'll be right back. even at 4 here in the second intermission. Brad Anderson with you, Joe Heinen back at the flagship studios of 740 The Fan in Fargo. NHL playoffs, Montreal and Tampa Bay are even at 2. They're in the second intermission, game 1 of that best of 7 first round series. In the East in the NHL playoffs, Buffalo hosting the Boston Bruins. They're just underway and no score. Earlier today, Colorado beat the LA Kings by a score of 2-1. Later tonight, it'll be Vegas taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. NBA playoffs, we have 2 finals. Boston hammered the 76ers 123-91. Game 1 of that series in Beantown. Celtics have a 1-0 series lead. Oklahoma City out west, top-seeded Thunder, no problem with Phoenix, 119-84. Orlando leads Detroit halftime. First game of that East series, 55-51. Magic later tonight. Trailblazers take on the San Antonio Spurs. Again, watch parties for Game 3 Thursday night and Game 4 if necessary. Both are 7:05 starts. You can go to Louis Sports Bar and Grill or Pub West. Cheer on the Force in Games 3 and 4. They'll have audio and video from FloHockey for those games. And the secondary locations, Bar Down and Headquarters, will have Game 3 and 4 if needed with video only. So if you want to watch the game with your fellow Force fans and Force Nation, Thursday and potentially Friday as well at Louis Sports Bar and Grill or Pub West. Those are the 2 main locations. Secondary locations are Bar Down and Headquarters. Bar Down and Headquarters in West Fargo. So good partners here with the Fargo Force. We'll get you ready for period number 3 on this one. And again, if we do go overtime, it's a full overtime. It's not short overtime and a shootout. We go big boy when we get into the postseason. It'll be a resurface 20 minutes and basically sudden death if we are even going into the third period. 4-4 with the Musketeers and the Force. Period number 3 from Shields Arena coming up in just a moment. That is just fine. Fargo out for the third period of play. Even at 4 in a critical game 2 as we get to those highlights. And plenty to pick from. There was Bryce Mattern in front loose. Jacob Sagan had found the loose change and able to send it home to beat Ryder Shea. That tied things up at 3. Fargo, a lot of pressure. There was a rebound attempt. Colin Sisson had a chance denied there. Dakota Bailey with a shot that A.J. White came up with a pad save on. More traffic in front. Fargo 26 shots on goal in the second period. There's a couple of saves there from Shea. There's Cherney for McNamara. Redirected home, tipped home by Brooks Cullen. That gave Fargo a 4-3 lead in the second period. There you see Cullen just getting a piece of it past Ryder Shea. That's the last we saw of Shea. There you see O'Leary as Gavin Gary from Botany. A one-timer in front, evening things up. But again, O'Leary getting to that puck to prevent an icing call. Really kept things, kept that play going and led to really kind of a transition goal to even things up for Sioux City. Third period underway as Fargo has possession to begin the third period. Cherney for McNamara, chasing after it is Dell'Adonna's. Sioux City looks to play it off the stick of Gary. Eulenkamp after, trying to keep it in. Deflected out to neutralize. Garrett Lindbergh for Cherney. Crosses the red line. Now across the blue line he goes. McNamara rings it around. Eulenkamp trying to get there. Eulenkamp goals in each of the first 2 games. Cuts in front. Backhanded shot saved by Fickthorn. Nice job to create that pretty much on his own for Gavin Eulenkamp. Acquired right near the trade deadline, the Madison Capitals, and player he was traded for, Aero Butella, the game-winning goal for the Madison Capitals last night in Game 2 of their series. A 1-0 overtime victory. 1-0 overtime win over the Youngstown Phantoms. So the Anderson Cup champion Phantoms will be a desperate hockey team, I'd imagine, Friday night. They're going to have to run the board. Game 3 and 4, if necessary, will be in Madison Friday and Saturday. Dell'Adonna takes the draw here, an offensive zone face-off for the Musketeers. Off the face-off with he and Topko. Fargo wins the draw. Puck through center, loose. Trying to grab it on the run was McNamara, but icing called as Eulenkamp got tangled up with one of the Sioux City skaters as play carried into the offensive zone. And icing will be, offside the call. 19:20 to go in the third. Fargo had 46 shots on goal last night, 43. And Ryder Shea had 33 saves before he was removed for the night. Jack Fickthorn now in net for Sioux City. Here's McCrate. Sends it to the blue line. Backpedaling to play it is Gavin Carr for the Musketeers. Christian Lyons up ice. Now feed just out of the reach of Topko. Chases it down behind the net. Play comes to the corner. He'll drop it back behind the net. Daniil Boutin, who has a goal and an assist after it. Now Dyer centers for Tomko. Tomko, the defender hanging on him, puts a weak shot, not a lot on it. And a save made by A.J. White. Save number 16 of the night for A.J. White. 18:53 remaining here in the third period. You're tuned in tonight, KVOI 11.4, or if you're watching via FloHockey, via the social media channels, either X or Facebook. We certainly enjoy having you with us tonight. Game 2 of this Western Conference USHL semifinal. They've gone to overtime, by the way, in Sioux Falls. Lincoln and Sioux Falls even at 3. Saxton Tess sends it along for Bryce Mattern. Poked free, loose, as back into the Sioux City offensive zone, Stepan Cherney will chase it down. He and McCrate, again, those top 4 defensemen have logged a lot of minutes tonight for Fargo. Loose puck, Sagan in after it. Up the wall it goes for Gary. Now Schultz drops it off Jeffress. Jeffress across the line. Drops it off for Gould. Poke checked away. Saxton Tess trying to get to it. He will. Tess left circle. Shot. Glove save. Fickthorn came out to take a peek at it. Get a clean look at it. And makes the glove save. 18:18 to go here in the third. They are ready to head to overtime. 3-3 at the end of regulation. There's Saxton Tess getting to that loose puck and wrister from the left circle. Cullen will take the draw for the Force. Here you see a look at Jack Fickthorn. Stopped all these shots headed his way. Is 7 saves now. Sharp angle shot blocked as Subnewski. Shot deflected up, kicked aside by Fickthorn. Up the far side wall. A nice check there by Cherney. Tipped over a Sioux City skater. Throwing the body around. Here's Cullen. Sent down by Bailey. Extra shove to bring him down. Actually, that was Subnewski. Here's Anderson. Spins at the blue line. Cross ice feed out of the tape of the stick of Aiden Dyer. Dyer works his way to the corner. Centering feed. Went through the slot. Lions trying to handle it off the half wall and could not. Coming free. Fargo with Wyatt Subnewski gains the line. Subnewski comes wide. Now behind the net comes Subnewski, trying to drop it for a teammate. Unable to get to it as trying to get free, and now claiming it is Zach Zimmerman. Here's a drive. Marchenko saved by Fickthorn. Subnewski trying to find the rebound, as is Cullen. And finally claimed by the Musketeers. They elevate the puck through neutral ice and not quite all the way down. Line change Musketeers as Subnewski. He's checked. Puck comes free. Stinger will play it here near corner. Sends a pass up ice, intercepted Deladonna. Deladonna trying to handle it right circle. Poked off his stick. McCray will play it at neutral ice. Now for Arseny Marchenko. 17 minutes to go in the third. We're even at 4. Eulenkamp. Eulenkamp, a wrister, shot high and wide, missed the net. It was Puck. O'Leary grabs it on the run. Feed, intercepted at center. Cherney got a piece of it. Sioux City again, they gain the line with Stinger. Stinger in, got tied up with Lindbergh, never got a shot off. Stinger stays with it. Play goes to the right circle. Quick shot and a save made as O'Leary, one-timer, and A.J. White closes up the pads and makes the save. 16:40 to go in the third. We're tied at 4 here in game number 2. That happened quickly as O'Leary camped himself in the right circle. There you see Mason West. Play at Michigan State. Draft pick of the Chicago Blackhawks, who joined the force in early December. Many of you know the story. Went back to play high school football in his senior year at Edina, Minnesota. Edina beating Moorhead in the 6A championship, high school football. Of course, a few Moorhead High and Moorhead natives on this Fargo squad. Cross ice feed across the line. Comes Mason West. West goes to the forehand. Shot and saved by Jack Fickthorn. And a stoppage again. 16:27 to go. It's been some end-to-end action here where both teams have tried kind of some longer stretch-like passes that have connected. Seems like the ice has opened up a little bit here early in this third period. 16:27 left. Face off to the right of Fickthorn as West on the draw for Fargo. Face off with Ashton Schultz. Loose as Graham Jones will play it. Cherney at the blue line. Got to return it. Pass broken up. Back to neutral ice it goes as Cherney redirects it for offensive partner Garrett Lindbergh. And that puck, I think, went up into the bench, and it will. And that's going to lead to an offensive zone face-off here for the Musketeers. See a look at Trey Jeffress, and there's Stepan Cherney. So Tomko, Schultz, and Jeffress. 55 points for Jeffress in the regular season. Tomko averaging a point a game in the regular season, and Schultz, draft pick of the Buffalo Sabres, who will play at UND. 46 points, but they have not had a point so far here in this series. 16:12 to play here in the third period. Tied at 4 off the draw. Jeffress is ascended in front, deflected, cleared out by the force. Lubes grabbed on the run by Mattern. Mattern trying to skate into the zone, could not. Test there to help him out. Shoots it in. Loose puck as Sioux City looking to break out with it. They will with Jeffress. 3-on-3. Jeffress. Down the left side comes Schultz. Schultz tied up with Marchenko. Now behind the net it goes. Now to the corner, taken away by Saxton Tess. Here comes Fargo. Up ice for Mattern. Mattern as offside will be the call. We'll halt things with 15:41 left. Some of the Fargo fans here at Shields Arena didn't like it. I think the whistle came late, but it's really close there as you kind of got bodies trying to put the brakes on or trying to slow down while that puck enters the zone. Face-off coming. Cullen wins the draw. Cherney and Lindbergh on defense. Zimmerman, Cullen, and Wyatt Subnewski. So we've seen Subnewski out here for a couple of shifts in the third period for the Force. So looking to see if Nick Kasiba, Kasiba's down on the bench, was on that line to start the game. Cullen sends it back out as loose, tipped away. Zimmerman gets it back. Subnewski listed as basically the sixth defenseman, but when he's played, he's basically been as a forward. No Axel Lofgren. Injury scratch tonight. Graham Greeter serving the second game of his 2-game suspension. Near corner with it. He'll be available on Thursday. Long pass. Here's Subnewski. Subnewski fires it in, rings it around to the near side. Chopping away at it there for Sioux City was Ryan Poyer. Poyer, extra forward tonight. Into the corner with it, Zimmerman. Play goes behind the net, where it's handled there by Dakota Bailey for the Musketeers. Up ice to Neil Booten. Now across the line comes Aiden Dyer. Dyer poked off his stick. Loose puck claimed there by Arsenij Marchenko. Stretch pass trying to connect with Subnewski. He'll get to it behind the net, trying to center for Uhlenkamp. Pass broken up and taken back by Stenger for Sioux City. Long feed, Anderson trying to gather it in with his skates. Now carries it in. Here's Schultz. Schultz to the corner. Got there by Lindberg. Pinned to the glass by Lindberg. McNamara trying to jab it free. Play comes to the end boards as Schultz tried to center it. Spinning, deflected. Stinger back towards the logo at center ice. He'll fire it back in. 14:03, third period. 4-4 tie here in game number 3. Up ice it goes for Uhlenkamp. Uhlenkamp to the right side. Shot, save made. Right circle on the run. Fickthorn comes up with a save. And we have a timeout of the ice. And well, hold on. Officials will get got a couple of skirmishes there. McNamara and Schultz. Uhlenkamp with one of the Sioux City skaters as well. As anybody going in? Yep, they're going to send Uhlenkamp in. Slashing call on Gavin Uhlenkamp, and Sioux City may have a power play coming. Or are they going to send somebody in for the Musketeers as well? We'll find out. 13:56 to go in the third. We're tied at 4. We'll pause. We're back in 30 seconds on 740 The Fan, FloHockey, and KVOY 11.4. So Sioux City will get a power play. Gavin Uhlenkamp on a slash. At 6:04, the Musketeers will go on the power play at a 4-4 tie game. They are 0 of 1 so far on the man advantage, looking for their first power play goal of the postseason. Schultz is out there, likewise Luke Gary. Cullen takes the draw, taking the draw against Kyle O'Leary. Gould at the point. Gary down low, both Gary brothers in there, turning shot in front as save made as A.J. White, all kinds of traffic in front. Gavin Gary got the feed from his brother Luke, tried to jam that home past A.J. White. And hangs on for dear life. 13:46 to go in the third. Shots on goal 48-23 in favor of the Force. As White with that first save, as Luke Gary, actually that was Gavin Gary, 15, trying to jab that home, and then we see all kinds of bodies in front, but 4 or 5 different skaters in there. Schultz takes the face-off now here. O'Leary, the Garys and Gould constitute the power play here for Sioux City. Off the face-off, Fargo tried to clear it, kept in by Gould. Schultz, back behind the net it goes. Loose. As O'Leary finds Schultz, bottom of the left circle. Now Gould to the point. It was a couple of assists. Here's a one-timer and a drive, missed the net. Gould 2 assists here in this one this evening. Schultz, left circle. Gavin Gary, O'Leary. Now Schultz works his way towards the face-off dot. Cross the ice, feet in front, right on the doorstep was O'Leary. Couldn't jab it home. Didn't get it cleanly and missed the net. Here's Schultz. Schultz a drive up the shoulder of White. And that's up into the netting and out of play. So they're putting some good pressure on the Force and A.J. White. He will make, well, I guess say he got a stop there, but he's made a couple of saves here in this power play. Good feed. They tried to drop it back on the doorstep, and O'Leary was right on the right hip of A.J. White, couldn't jab it home. But they kept some pressure on as Ashton Schultz, who already has one game-winning goal here in the postseason, is looking to make it two. 13-13 to play, 117 of the Eulenkamp penalty. They are just underway in overtime in Sioux Falls with Lincoln and Sioux Falls even 3 apiece. West and Ashton Schultz on the draw. Off the face-off, loose, and Fargo there gets a clear. All the way down, Fickthorn waits for it, smothers it, and leaves it for Gould. So Fargo getting the draw and getting a clear. 1:05 to go here in the power play. 12:58 to go in regulation. Here's Gavin Gary in front for Gould. Couldn't handle it cleanly. It looked like he wanted to go backhand. Loose puck knocked free. Jabbed away to neutral ice. We've got a penalty coming against the Force as skater down and Gould. As we'll see, Gavin Gary is looking to go after somebody. Shane Gould is down, took a hit. The half wall far side. It's going to lead to a penalty in Sioux City. Will be 5-on-3 as Garrett Lindberg is headed in. Just caught the tail end of that play. Training staff's going to check on Gould. He looks to be okay. Going to check on him. So Lindberg goes in. 7:15 on the penalty. There you see a closer look at Shane Gould. Really a solid defenseman. Are they going to send some? Well, you see, they're going to take a look at it. They might be looking to see if this will be going to review it maybe for a potential major penalty. So Lindberg's in. We just don't know for how long and to the extent of the penalty. So the officials will take a second look at it to see if it is a potential for a major penalty. Maybe a check from behind, perhaps. It's the second time they've gone to review. They went to review the second Sioux City goal. They reviewed for goalie interference, and they did credit that as a good goal. 12:45 remaining here in the third period. So shots on goal in the third, and as well, the review appears, well, it's not quite over yet. We may have our decision. 7 shots on goal for each team here in the third. Fickthorn now with, it's like 12 saves. So Lindberg's headed to the locker room. A 5-minute major. I wonder if it's 5 and 10 perhaps. So Lindberg headed to the locker room, so he looks to be done, at least through the end of regulation, or if it's a game misconduct. There you see the hit on Gould. Yep, it is a 5-minute checking from behind major and a game misconduct. So a shorthanded Fargo blue line has gotten a little shorter handed, if that's a term. Without Lofgren, Jones will go and serve the penalty here for Lindberg. Subnewski listed as a defenseman, although he's pretty much playing as an extra forward. No Greeter, no Lofgren, and now no Lindberg for the rest of the night. Oh boy, 12:45 to go in the third. 5-on-3 for 49 seconds, and an all-you-can-eat power play after that for Sioux City as they'll try and take the lead back. Tomko, one-timer and a drive save by White. Puck cleared aside, but it comes back to Tomko, and the one-timer there from Derek Olson. Olson right at the edge of the circle, now back for Tomko. 30 seconds remaining of 5-on-3. Here's Olson into the slot, shot, tipped on its way there and up into the netting and out of play. Well, this has a chance to be a momentum swing on both sides. This is a golden opportunity here for the Musketeers. You see Olsen's shot got blocked on its way towards the net and up into the netting. And if somehow Fargo gets out of this unscathed, huge momentum swing and a huge lift. A golden opportunity for the Musketeers, down 1-0 to try and get a goal to take the lead, maybe take game 2 Off the face-off, here's Gary, fumbles with it, shot save made, rebound fired inside. First shot from Luke Gary, now Gavin Gary plays it and drops it off for Schultz. Feed, right circle, Gary back for Schultz, a drive, save, A.J. White. Able to react beautifully. Puck comes back far side, Luke Gary. Luke Gary to the right circle, now Schultz, down low, back for Gary, gathers it in. Stinger, as we're back to 5-on-4. Still 4:10 left on the major penalty. Loose, clear aside. Cleared out by Fargo and Cullen. Out comes Saxton Tess, Eulenkamp, McCrate, and now Cherney. As it's 5-on-4 for 3:55 and rolling. We're tied at 4. Loose puck, back comes Sioux City as Luke Gary through center. Through the logo, comes across the line. Poke checked away by Cherney. Couldn't get a clean entry into the offensive zone, so they'll reset. Stinger. 49-29 shots on goal. But boy, they put a lot of pressure, but A.J. White so far has answered the bell. Again, 5-10 on a game misconduct for Lindbergh. Across the line with it comes Gary. Now for Stanger. Crowd starting to come to life here at Shields Arena. Here's Stanger. Stanger left circle Schultz. Schultz pass deflected off the back of Cherney. Marchenko trying to clear it. Tess couldn't find it. It comes back to Schultz, who gets it back. Stanger returns it to Stanger at the blue line. Now to play it, Luke Gary. Poked away. Nice job, Eulenkamp. Eulenkamp heads to the bench. Out come Deladonna and McCrate. Sioux City will have to reset. 3:02 to go here on this power play. We're still even at 4. Stanger for Elias Votny. Votny at center, drops it off, and across the line with it comes Tomko. Jeffress battles for it, poked away by McCrate. Deladonna in the slot, can't handle it. Jeffress a drive, didn't get all of it. Elevated shot, missed the net. I think he got kind of the top end of that puck as he tried to fire it. Cullen battles for it. And finally coming away with it, Brooks Cullen has Deladonna with him. Cullen across the line. Cullen cuts into the slot. Brooks a drive. A shot saved, backhanded shot, they score! Deladonna with a short-handed goal, and Fargo leads it 5-4. Cullen the first shot, Deladonna found it. Goaltender out of position, backhand, bang! There's a momentum boost right there. Still 2:29 left shorthanded, but Fargo reclaims the lead at 5-4 and a tremendous play first by Cullen. Cullen to get it into the zone, fire the shot. Fickthorn reacted late. Deladonna just had to find it. Here comes Gary. Well, so we'll see if the Musketeers can respond again. They've done it twice. When Fargo has scored, they've responded quickly. Still 2:17 left on this power play. One-timer for Gary up high, missed the net. That was Gavin Gary. Luke Gary for Stanger. Stanger now for Gary. Inside of 10 minutes to go in the third. Fargo has the lead. Stanger for Schultz. Still 2:02 left on the penalty to Lindbergh. Off the skate of Luke Gary, right circle. Back to the slot, redirected to Schultz, top of the left circle. Now back to the point for Stanger. Stanger a shot right into the chest, into the logo of A.J. White, and hangs on. Still a lot of work to do, but Fargo, who didn't have many shorthanded goals, in fact, they had 2 all regular season. The shorthanded goals, McCrate had 1, Patrick Tola no longer with the team at the other. 1:50 left. Still in overtime down in Sioux Falls. They're about 5 minutes in, still 3-3. 5-4 Fargo here. Off the draw, Deladonna looking to clear it, and he does. It won't go all the way down, but Gould, who was shaken up, back to play it. Here's Schultz. Schultz across the line. Here's Gavin Gary. Puck comes free, now Gould to play it. Weaves his way in front, centering feed, unable to handle it was O'Leary. Deladonna looking to clear, his attempt blocked. O'Leary tied up in the corner there by McCrate. It comes free. Gary stick handle, so has to drop it in front. Gould will play it as he retreats to the blue line. 1:20 to go here on this long power play. Shot deflected and wide. Gould fouls his shot. Puck comes to rest behind the goal. Here's Schultz. Schultz zigzag shot blocked. Cullen racing for it. Brooks tried to chop it free and kept in the offensive zone by Schultz. Now Luke Gary. Poked away. Loose puck poked away by Marchenko. Here's a feed and a one-time shot. Save made by White. There, Fargo gets the clear. Cleared and all the way down. Nice work, boys. Uhlenkamp, Tess, Cherney, and Marchenko out there. 45 to go here on this penalty kill. 8:25 remaining. It's 5-4 Fargo. Here's Elias Votny at the logo. Drops it off for Jeffress. Jeffress just inside of the offensive zone, inside the blue line. Votny in the corner. Puck not free and taken away by Saxton Tess. Tess waits and will gently send it in down the right wing boards. He had Uhlenkamp with him, but made a wise move there. Meantime, Jones serving the penalty for Lindbergh, ready to escape. 15 seconds left. Here's Votny. Now drops it off. Across the line, Jeffress has Topko with him. Topko tried to center it. Gets it back. Feet in front. Dyer extra pass Jeffress. Votny in front. Shot wide. Missed the net. Down to one. Fargo's killed off the penalty. Here comes Topko. Cross ice feed. Votny a drive. Save. A.J. White. Boy, did that take some doing. Time out of the ice. A.J. White with help from his friends and a shorthanded goal mixed in, and Fargo has the lead. Still 7:40 remaining. Force 5, Musketeers 4 from Shields Arena. We're back in 30 at 7:40 The Fan at FloHockey. Well, Fargo was shorthanded for, 6:04. We got 7:40 left. They were shorthanded for 6 minutes plus. Killed off all that time and got a goal as a bonus. 5-4 Force. The shorthanded goal, by the way, Deladonna from Cullen. First for Nate Deladonna, another veteran. Brought in during in season, I should say. Says from Cullen, shorthanded. Just the third shorthanded goal for Fargo this year, and their first, obviously, of the postseason. West for Graham Jones, who's back in there. And again, Fargo is gotten really thin on defense with the game misconduct, 5-10. As Fargo gains the line, Jones left circle the drive, kicked aside by Fickthorn. The ice has been slanted Sioux City's direction with all that power play time. Here's Marchenko. 7 minutes remaining. Force lead 5-4. Pass behind West. Has to retrieve it. Backhands it. Sisson will fire it in. Jones trying to play it as Sisson heads out. Nate Deladonna comes out. Loose as Daniil Booten. Goal and assist tonight. Sends it in. Trying to set it towards the net. White lets it go aside. Loose at the half wall near side. Fargo chops it back out. Chips at it to neutralize. Fired back in by the Musketeers. 6.5 left. And again, Lindbergh checking from behind. The 5-10. Game misconduct. Loose front in front of the Sioux City goal. Intercepted Deladonna. Here's Uhlenkamp into the slot. Poke from behind and finally claimed by Ashton Schultz for the Musketeers. Loose taken back by Deladonna. Fires it in. Takes a strange carom off the end boards. D'Alessandro sends it along for Luke Gary. 6:08 to play in the third. Fargo with a 5-4 lead in game 2. Here's Luke Gary. Down the left wing boards as it poked away. Taken back by Brooks Cullen. Cullen down the right side trying to get around Schultz. Battles forward at the half wall. Keeps possession. Sends it down the wall behind the net where it's handled there by Fargo. Poor skater gets hauled down. Trying to pop back up as Cullen battles for it. Getting hauled down there with Saxton Tess. Here come the Musketeers again. Now the near side pass. Cherney nearly intercepted. Finally Mattern trying to grab it. He can't at neutralize. Puck into the offensive zone. That was just not clean on either side. And we will get a whistle and an offside whistled with 5:33 to go in the third period. Shots on goal are now 51-33 in favor of Fargo. In this third period, 14-9 in favor of Sioux City. Figure at least close to half of those came on the power play. 5-4 Force. 12:32 left in overtime in Sioux Falls. It is 3-3 with Lincoln and Sioux Falls in game 2 of that series. Here's Arseny Marchenko at the red line, and Marchenko fires that one in, rings around to the far side. Cleared out to neutral ice. Marchenko will flip it back in. Sioux City to play it. Fargo trying to set up the forecheck. Bouncing puck handled by Elias Votny. Cross ice feed for Gary. That's Gavin Gary. Tied up with Cherney. Puck comes free and kept into the point by Olsen. Votny. Feed right circle. Cross ice off the stick of Olsen. Trying to stay with it. Gets it back. Play goes back behind the net for O'Leary. O'Leary gets free from Stepan Cherney. Behind the net is Gavin Gary. And that one gets tipped up just above the glass into the netting and out of play. 4:50 remaining here in the third period. Right now, the shorthanded goal from Deladonna, a rebound goal, which came at 9:46, by the way, shorthanded. So you look at guys like Eulenkamp and Sisson, who have really come up big in this series. Really Cullen forcing and setting up that chance shorthanded. Deladonna now with Fargo, his 9th goal. He had 8 goals, 10 assists in 34 games coming over at the holiday break from Des Moines in the trade, which included goaltender Alan Lendak. Up the wall, Lions trying to keep it in. Puck battle up the half wall. Play goes to the far corner. Trey Jeffress lost a blade. Down he goes. McCrate sends it along for Eulenkamp, trying to chop it out of the zone, and he does. Trying to send it back in. Daniel D'Alessandro gets pinballed around at neutral ice, and finally possession to Sioux City. Christian Lyons after it, chops at it. Jeffress comes back to claim the puck. 4:20 to go in the third. Jeffress poked away by Cherney. Eulenkamp comes across the line. Eulenkamp down the left wing boards. He gets hauled down. The penalty coming. Penalty against D'Alessandro. Who will try and state his case, but he's not going to. Well, at least it's not going to go in his favor. He gets 2 minutes on a hold. He clutching and grabbing on Gavin Eulenkamp. You see the reverse angle, and there he went down right there. He kind of got up, kind of bent between the shoulder, just underneath the neck, and hauled him down. So D'Alessandro in the bin. 15:48 on a hold. So Fargo gets a power play up 1. 5-4 as Sioux City controls off the draw, looking for a clear, and they do, up by Schultz. Schultz comes wide. Schultz poked away by Cherney. That was about the same spot where he scored off a deflected shot late in the first period. Graham Jones comes away with it as Eulenkamp to his left. Jones leaves it for Gavin Eulenkamp. West trailing to play. Eulenkamp into the slot. A drive. He scores! The wrister from the slot. And Eulenkamp has his 2nd of the game. His 3rd of the weekend. And Fargo has a 6-4 lead. Top right corner. About the same spot that Graham Jones hit on the power play last night. And the veteran Gavin Eulenkamp has come to life when the lights have shown the brightest. It's a 2-goal lead. 16-11 on the power play goal for Eulenkamp. Jones should get an assist. A power play goal, so a shorty and a power play goal in the third, giving Fargo the ever-dangerous 2-goal lead. The worst lead in hockey. Say it with me loud and clear. Here's Gary, handled there by Stepan Cherney. Flipped up off the skate of Gould, chopped into the offensive zone by the force and Saxton Tess. 3:33 remaining. 6-4 Fargo, and a perfectly placed shot by Gavin Eulenkamp. We'll get the scoring here in a second. At center is Gary. Luke Gary from Gavin Gary, intercepted by Cherney. Loose at the blue line. Deladonna reaching for it, tried to gainer arm it, couldn't get to it. Gavin Gary does for the Musketeers. 3:14 left. They will pull Fick Thorne now to get that 6th attacker out there, down 2. Really no time like the present. Centering feed off the stick of Tess, cleared but not out, kept in by Gould. Gould to drive, missed the net, maybe looking for a tip. Ashton Schultz gets it back. And a little catch there is pass for Gould, broken up by Deladonna. Deladonna will send it the length of the ice as icing is waved off apparently. Net empty for Sioux City. 2:42 left, force up 6-4, lose. Here's a chance into the empty net perhaps. Saxton Tess scores! Saxton Tess into the empty net. That's a dagger. 7-4 Fargo. They got that puck at neutral ice, and Sisson and Tess almost got tangled up with one another, and Tess into the empty net. And that might put it to bed. 2:36 left. Fickthorn back in net for the Musketeers. Eulenkamp from Jones and Cherney to do a little house cleaning. That was at 16-11, a power play goal. And now the empty netter from Tess. We'll see if they maybe give Sisson an assist on that. It's 7-4 Fargo, 2.5 minutes to go on this one, and offside is the call. Eulenkamp's third of the weekend. Jones' second assist upon Cherney acquired 3 assists as well. That made it 6-4. And we'll get the scoring. They have not gotten on the score sheet yet, but they're working on it. 2.5 left. Face-off just outside the Sioux City offensive zone as the Force right now 2.5 away from a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. Took a carom off the corner boards, ended up back into the slot. Fargo clears it back to neutral ice. Carr now and handled there by Poyer. Errant pass taken away by Cullen, fires it deep into the offensive zone. Tess had a hat trick against Sioux City back in early November. He got 3 and they had the school day game down at the Tyson Event Center. It'll be Tess from Sisson. Colin Sisson, his second assist of the weekend. First goal for Tess in the postseason. 7-4 as we're inside at 2 minutes to go on this one. Puck comes free behind the net. Saxton Tess, 14 goals in the season and 13 goals, 12 assists in the regular season for the Force. Bailey, as the puck goes back behind the net, chopped free. Tomko plays it in the corner, returns it back for Booten. Booten to the far corner, winding up in a drive, missed the net. Loose puck, and that's cleared out to neutral ice. Shot came from the point from Poyer. Eulenkamp trying to get free. Kicked aside by Poyer, and actually, correction on that, was Derek Olson. Now Poyer plays it. Dumped back in by the Musketeers. Minute 20 to go here in the third. So Fargo rallied back from an early 2-0 deficit and a 3-2 deficit. Feed for Sisson right on the tape of his stick. Sisson comes wide. Here's a feed. Deladonna, drive shot blocked. Deflected to the corner. Dallas Potter to play it. Play goes over to the far side in the Force offensive zone. 60 seconds remaining here in the third period. And then elusive game 2. Well, that streak looks like it's going to end. As here's a shot racing in. Stinger elevated the shot but missed the net. Carr plays as the puck goes rolling back to neutral ice. 47 seconds to go in the third. Dump back in here as it caroms back towards the net. Steered aside by A.J. White. Sisson now for Dyer. Dyer in the corner trying to cut. Goal line extended. Poked away, claimed by Arseny Marchenko. Sisson comes away with it. Sisson down the right wing boards will gently dump it into the offensive zone. He'll head to the bench. 25 seconds remaining here in regulation. Puck comes through center, loose. McCrate reaching for it. There it's taken by Stepan Cherney. Plays it high off the glass, deflected, loose at neutral ice. And finally into the offensive zone, O'Leary, he's checked. We've got a whistle and offside is called. 10.7 seconds to go in this one, and Fargo leads at 7-4. Crowd today, not a sellout, but a good house. 3,607. 3607 on a Sunday, not bad. We've got a final. Lincoln wins in overtime. Alex Pelletier, 9:35 in overtime, gives the Stars a 4-3 win. That series is even at 1, heading to the icebox in Lincoln. Final seconds, chip away on this one. Horn sounds. Fargo will win it. Eulenkamp and Anderson have to be separated. O'Leary exchanging pleasantries with Colin McCrate. The officials will get those two separated. And Fargo is a 2-0 lead in this best of 5 series. A game-changing penalty kill by Fargo. The were shorthanded for over 6 minutes. Got a shorthanded goal from Deladonna. They had a power play goal from Eulenkamp and an empty netter from Saxton Tess. Fargo wins it. And they have pressed the Musketeers firmly against the wall now. A 2-0 lead with the series moving to the Tyson Event Center in Sioux City Thursday night. Game 3 Thursday. If Game 4 is needed, it would be Friday. If we need to go the distance, it would be back here on the 28th. As the Force will make a victory lap around Shields Arena. We'll let the crowd take over here for a second. And again, Fargo had to grind their way through. Down 2-0 early, down 3-2 after 1. Rallied to take a lead. Saw Sioux City came back, and again, we talked about it at that point. It was going to be a momentum swing one way or another. Sioux City had a 5-on-3 for about roughly 40 seconds or so. After the major penalty, checking from behind call on Lindbergh, and Fargo worked like crazy and got a shorthanded goal, just their 3rd of the season. Cullen got it started. Deladonna found the rebound and scored. Converted on a power play from Eulenkamp. That's been power play goals each of the first 2 games of this series, and Fargo has a 2-0 advantage. Our 3 stars of the game coming up here momentarily. Was Tess assisted on the empty net goal, so they got a shorty, a power play goal, and an empty netter. That's like going through the goal buffet line there in the 3rd period. Shots on goal. Fargo finishes with 53, 34. 15-11 Sioux City in the 3rd period. Fargo's at 99 shots on goal in the first 2 games of this series. My, oh my, that's a lot. Well, Fargo at 20 wins on home ice, and they claim the first 2, as we'll get to our 3 stars of the game. Our 3rd star was really a key contributor tonight. Had a goal in the 2nd period, then assisted on that shorthanded goal and really created it. Brooks Cullen, Moorhead's own. And the future Golden Gopher is your number 3 star of the night. Your number 2 star, a veteran acquired late in the season that has been outstanding here as we've gotten into the postseason. 2 goals tonight for Gavin Eulenkamp, 3 for the weekend. He's your number 2 star. And your top star of the night, your number 1 star. The game-winning goal, a shorthanded goal for Nate Deladonna. Another veteran brought in mid-season to try and add some depth and some veteran experience. And Deladonna gets the game winner tonight, a shorthanded goal. And Fargo wins it 7-4. Post-game report next. Game 2 belongs to the Force. Fargo 7, Sioux City 4. Post-game next. I am cool with that. Yep. Oh wow. Okay. I was shortening those intermission breaks. Thinking